reached out to Governor Ivey in October asking for her to step in and resolve the situation that has occurred between the organization and DHR. DHR removed Kids to Love from the list of partnership agencies, and Kids to Love maintains that they were given no proof or policy violation to justify that move and no avenues to seek remediation or reinstatement. A murder suspect is back in the city of Enterprise to face charges after being released from the Ventress Correctional Facility on other unrelated charges. LaQuentin Sheridan is wanted for the murder of Jason Montgomery in Enterprise 4 years ago. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Next contestant.
Honey, you look confused. What's wrong?
I'm having a hard time remembering to take my medications like I'm supposed to. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to worry you.
I'm glad you told me, because I heard that Adams Drugs has a medicine on time service that will package your monthly medications and make them easier to manage. Our neighbors, Bill and Leslie, mentioned the other day that they use Adams and how they have made it so easy for them to manage their medications.
Do you think we can call Adams Drugs? Or go by there and see if they can help me? I don't want to get to the point where you have to put me into an assisted living home.
Why don't you get your medications together right now, and let's go down to Adams and talk to the pharmacist.
How much does the medicine on time service cost?
I asked Bill that same question, and he told me it's a free service for Adams customers.
Free? Wow, I'm feeling really good about this already. Let me grab my meds list.
Call Adams Drugs Medicine on time for your pharmacist consultation. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for more information on our Medicine on Time packaging service.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Hey, mister, I don't mean to be telling tales out of school, but there's a feller in there who'll pay you $10 if you sing into his can. I'm not here to make a record, you dumb cracker. They broadcast me out on the radio.
I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me.
Shut up, silly woman. You know, they used to say Abraham Lincoln got the worst press. I said, there's no way he got worse than me.
If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by go. You know the thing.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. May God have mercy on your soul.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. We got a full house with the usual crew, the home team, so to speak. We got Eddie Bader here playing shortstop.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. And my trusty first baseman, he knows how to stretch, folks, Sky Mosley, here in the studio. And where to begin? Well, I'm seeing footage of President Xi there on Fox Business.
Yeah.
And he's saying the U.S. should not scheme to suppress China.
Schemers.
Well, then they shouldn't scheme to suppress us. Apparently, the big news that came out of it, Biden announced they've come up with a deal to stop the exportation of fentanyl.
And that's a problem?
No, I'm just saying, do we buy it?
Oh, no. No.
The fentanyl exports have stopped.
And you can't buy weed because it's illegal. All right.
No, I'm not just being cynical. Do you remember when Barack Obama had the big, highfalutin, high-profile meeting with President Xi? It's right when Xi got in there, and they thought, oh, he's a Shanghai guy. Those Shanghai guys, that's like Ding. It's not Mao. Those are the guys that like economics. Those are the guys that want to see more growth.
Okay.
They understand they got this tiger that they're riding on the back of called billions of people. Okay. So they want to, of course, keep their economic growth, and that's going to lead to freedom. And there was all this hope. And a big thing that was signed out of Barack Obama's meeting with this Shanghai guy, the new President Xi, is we're not going to hack one another. No more cyber attacks.
How long did that last?
Do you think we have cyber attacks going on between all these countries? Theft of property, intellectual property, all this other
Did
stuff.
it ever stop?
Right. This is what I mean. Like, China will say all sorts of things. And I'm sure the U.S. will say all sorts of things.
Sure.
But what I want to go to here is I want y'all to characterize this for those who are not watching on the live stream. And again, you can always go to Joey Clark Live on YouTube. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
So you can watch along with us. But ill at ease is how I framed this. But Tony Blinken, this is right when like President Xi made his opening statement, and then the press started yelling questions like they do here in the United States.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Blinken started to look incredibly uncomfortable, is the way I would describe this. But I want y'all to tune in
All right.
and tell me what you think of this.
We're walking out. Yeah, we're
Look at the
walking
guy.
out.
Everyone's
start walking
Thank you so
out.
much. Everyone's got to head out.
Walking out.
Everyone's got to head out.
Walking
Everyone's
out.
heading out this way. Thank you so much. Pick it up and heading out that way.
What is he worried about?
I don't know. Yeah, deer in the headlights. Look at his mouth getting dry.
And I don't think it has much to do with the reporters. It's like he is a nervous Nancy, like just a ball of nerves.
Pick it up and heading out that way. Pick it up and heading out. Thank you so much. Everyone's heading out this way. This way. You guys.
Yeah, and of course you're hearing the handlers out this way. Everybody's going out this way.
Is that what she's saying?
Everybody is to leave the room.
I assumed she was speaking Chinese. I didn't understand nothing she said.
He looks like he can't pay his bill or something.
Yeah,
something-
I don't think it's
yeah,
the
something
reporter.
troubling that man
Something
right there.
very
Yeah.
troubling. Like there's a dour look on his face. And then his eyes are darting every which way. He looks like he's got a hemorrhoid or something. He's always over there squirming. I don't know. Well, and we go from that to this because Biden, I think, is part of why Blinken is so ill at ease. Here is Blinken reacting to Biden. This is at a press conference, folks, after the meeting.
Yeah.
That's a creepy shot, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
Like Biden half in the frame. But watch Blinken as Biden answers this question about Xi Jinping being a dictator.
President, after today, would you still refer to President Xi as a dictator? This is a term that you used earlier this year.
Well, look, he is. I mean, he's a dictator in the sense that he is a guy who runs a country that is a communist country that is based on a form of government totally different than ours.
Blinken looks like he's just sighing in disappointment when Biden answered the question that way.
That's what I wondered. Maybe he's worried Biden's going to cut loose. You know, they got to have it scripted. Anything live,
Right.
unscripted, makes him obviously very
sometimes
uncomfortable.
he screws up, tells the truth.
Yes,
Right.
he does. He slips that out sometimes.
Right. No, and it's like, what is going on in the White House? Because there's also other news today. Joe Manchin coming out and saying, I am seriously considering running for president. The senior senator there from West Virginia, who's always been that moderate maverick, but from the Democrat side. Nah, really, he's a Democrat that just likes oil and coal, I suspect.
Like some energy.
Right, which, hey, I'll take it.
Right now, I will.
But they already are doing polls where it looks like Trump gets 40%, Biden gets 35%. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., running as an independent, gets 13%.
Okay.
And Joe Manchin gets 5%.
Where's your boy Vivek?
Well, he's not running. It's a hypothetical general election.
So they hadn't even put him in?
Are you okay?
Not really.
Did you hit your head this morning?
No, but I'm thinking about it.
That might help.
Thinking about leading into the pitch.
Where's that ball-peen hammer? Where's that hammer? Let's help Eddie out here. Did you try the button? Your button?
No, I need a good reset, though.
Is that what they call it? So that's happening as Biden and team seems to be kind of circling the drain. Biden even made an offhand comment that Gavin Newsom can just have my job.
Oh,
I bet.
Yeah. Yeah, let's
really off his
pull
meds.
this up. Yeah, he says he can just have my job here.
One hell of a governor, man.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, he could do anything he wanted. He could have the job I'm looking for.
The job I'm.
He can have the job I'm looking for.
Yeah,
So-
he's done such a great job destroying California. He needs to be, promoted.
I mean, clearly Biden is joking around there. But these guys just look so ill at ease. Like, they don't look comfortable at all when it comes to what's going on in the world. Like, the Pop is not within his wits. Blinken's actually running things behind the scenes. And it seems like the Chinese have Tony Blinken crapping his pants, which I guess is fitting with his boss crapping his pants at the Vatican. But then I found another thing. Speaking of different people running, Trump still being the front runner in early polling.
Right.
Somebody put this out and said, Trump just needs to do this every day and he'll win. This is apparently Lara Trump, or Laura, or Lara, however it's, you know her.
Yeah.
When top priority is showing granddad your desk at school, Grandparents' Day. So that must be Trump's little granddaughter here. Let's watch. I can't stand this. She's too awesome. But that's adorable.
Hey, Carolina, show him your dad.
So what we're watching is Trump following his little granddaughter over to her tiny desk. It's so tiny.
Adorable. Just adorable.
Yeah, Trump doing the, like, giving out Mickey D's orders.
Yeah.
Or working with kids like that. I think it is endearing. He needs to do more stuff like that.
Well, give him till this afternoon. And
But instead we get, they've
Right.
let the genie out of the box.
I'm saying, give him till this afternoon. And
Now,
you'll fall out of
some
love
folks
again.
think it was Pandora in a box, but I actually know my Greek mythology. She was in a pestle. She was in like a jar.
Oh.
She was the one in the bottle. The genie. Go rewatch Aladdin. He rubs a box, not a lamp. It's the genie comes out of the box,
Okay.
and we're gonna take out these vermin that have been
ruining our country. We'll get to the vermin comment in a second. But a viral video making the rounds not of Trump, but of Vivek Ramaswamy. People saying Trump needs to hire him right now. Because he goes on CNN, they ask him, Mr. Ramaswamy, is this the sort of language? People are saying it's neo-fascist. And Vivek's response is quite good.
That's a different video than I saw Vivek. I saw Vivek wakeboarding yesterday.
Oh, yeah,
I saw
and he
that
jet
video.
skied
Yeah.
before the debate,
In a full
too.
suit. In a full suit, he was wakeboarding.
No, the dude's active.
Yep,
He can play
very
tennis, too. Anyway, but
Well,
of
he's
course...
under 80. I understand.
That's true.
Of course, if you watch most of Fox News, it's clear that Vivek just hates women.
Yeah, I heard that one today. Yeah,
Right.
I heard that one
Because
today.
if you criticize a lady, it means you hate them.
No, Joey, no. No, that's not what that means.
David, is that what that means? How you doing, David?
In some circles, it probably does.
Right.
Hey, with Manchin, this guy he is never going to run for president. He is using this on the Democrats to basically try to get himself a cabinet position with whoever the Democrat is if they win the White House again in 2024, whoever that may be. But he is not going to run for president. I can guarantee you that.
I can see that strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that strategy. Pretty
Well,
smart
unless,
strategy.
Biden croaks.
Yeah, but even then, there's no way, and the reason he's not rerunning for senator is because Justice, the governor, Republican governor of West Virginia, is going to absolutely clean his clock.
Ah, I
And
see what you
he
mean.
doesn't want that to happen.
I got you.
I see where you're coming from.
So that's what all this is about. Nothing more than just maneuvering himself for a cabinet position, I guarantee you. Something like energy secretary or something like
There
that.
you go. He does like some energy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just looking forward to seeing Trump celebrate from prison that he won re-election.
Yeah, that's the truth.
There's going to be a party that night.
Hey, and what do you think of Colorado, what they just did?
Oh, wait, what did they just do?
They're trying to get him removed from
off
the
the
ballot.
ballot.
Oh, that. Yeah, that's been ongoing. Yeah, and I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to happen.
I hope it doesn't, but you never know.
Yeah.
So it could. But anyway, have a good one, guys.
You
Appreciate
too,
it,
David.
Let's go from David to Cooper.
Hey,
Cooper.
Cooper.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Real quick today, like Vivek or not like him, he, to me, when someone asks him a question, he, off the top of his head, has got the correct answer, and he doesn't pull any punches.
Right.
Right, and it was that second debate where he really got hammered. He was out of form. He was trying to be Mr. Ronald Reagan, nice guy, and that didn't work. And ever since then, he has been gloves off, and it's great.
Yeah, and I don't think he's got a snowball's chance because a lot of people are just not going to vote for somebody named Ramaswamy.
Yep.
It's possible. The only chance he has is if Trump is literally taken off the ballot and the MAGA base goes, well, who else we got? This is the only guy
Or
who...
if Trump, while he gets taken off the ballot, says, hey.
Go for Ramaswamy,
Yep.
yeah.
That's his two chances right there.
Well, I think if Trump gets taken off the ballot, everybody will write. The Trumpers will write his name in. But anyway, one quick thing, and I'll let you go. You were talking about President Trump and his little granddaughter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I've seen that video several times, and it's great. They ought to run it all the time. And you compare that with Biden, who won't even acknowledge his granddaughter.
So true.
She doesn't exist to him.
Nope.
Yeah, that's pretty
It's no Secret
awful.
Service protection.
Pretty awful.
Anyway, enjoying the show.
Thank you, Cooper.
Yeah, what? Hunter slept with a stripper?
Well, he got
Great
stripper-
song, by the way.
stripper
I'm in
pregnant.
love with-
It is a good song. That is a good song.
Maybe Trump could have his granddaughter follow him around all the time.
Keep the kind of cool side of Trump going there.
I like it.
Mhm.
I like it. It's
Well,
a
there
new
might
look.
be a time or two where we say, hey, you need to take her out of the room. We need you to go handle some business.
And is there a way, with modern technology and methods, that we could get Akon and Young Jeezy and we have them constantly follow Hunter Biden around?
I think we could do that. We got a better chance of that than the other.
There's incentive.
They'll essentially just be bards for him whenever he
Right.
walks into a room. Right. You know that commander in chief, what's Hail to the Chief, that the band will play when the
Yep,
president
sure.
walks in? I think that started with Little Jimmy, James Madison, because he
Really?
was so diminutive.
They wanted to pump him up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see. I like Hail to the Chief.
But maybe we'll get modern
It's a great
versions of
song,
that.
man. It's a great song. You ought to play that more often.
What?
Hail to the Chief. You ought to do that on the bass.
Okay, I'll work on
I mean,
it.
honestly, that'd be very interesting.
Put it
Well,
in
I
as
ain't
a
gonna be
sample,
using a
you know?
sousaphone.
In the middle of one of your instrumentals, you could
Yeah,
sample
use it to
it.
sample it, yeah.
Jam.
I like the way you're thinking, Sky.
on today.
Well, Sky, before we hit this break, tell us about the Alabama Gazette here.
I'd love to. The Alabama Gazette is your hometown conservative newspaper, published right here in Montgomery for over 24 years now, serving the river region and central Alabama proper, and always about the community with the Gazette. It's the holiday season. We're kicking it off, and once again, the Alabama Gazette will be giving away $100 cash to 10 deserving people in the readership area. That's could come in very handy Christmas time. You can find the Gazette at many fine business establishments throughout the area, restaurants, retail stores, barbershops, you name it. If they don't have it at a business you frequent, mention it. And remember this number, 356-6700. That is the Alabama Gazette number. An excellent value for your advertising dollar as well. A ready-made audience that shares your principles, your values. Pro-life, pro-family, pro-America. That's the Alabama Gazette. 356-6700. Honest, informative, trustworthy. Always have been, always will be. 356-6700, the Alabama Gazette, the people's paper.
Thank you, Sky. More news and views in the afternoon. Well, after this quick break.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This is your roving reporter, and today I'm talking with a famous broadcaster.
Hey man, what's happening?
Now, I understand you radio people move a lot. Is that correct?
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, how does this affect your taking care of your retirement money?
Oh man, I don't give that a second thought because my buddy David Ernest, he's my money man.
Your money man?
With the money plan.
I see.
So no matter where I go up and down the dial, David has my back, you know?
I'll bet you know some phone numbers our listeners could call to talk with David Ernest.
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
And he has a website at retirewithernest.com.
Hey, you're on top of it today, man.
I also understand that you hold some sort of a record in broadcasting.
Yes. I was the first person to put together a show with myself, a duck, a chicken, and a goose. But it didn't last long. We got taken off the air.
Why were you taken off the air?
Too much foul language, man.
Oh, my.
So I wasn't crazy about that one myself.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. Sam, and I am so excited to tell you the last car I bought, it came from Riverside Chevrolet. Now get a load of this. Not only do they have a friendly staff that will answer any question at Riverside, they also have a finance department second to none, and a service department that's rated #1. Anything from pre-loved to brand spanking new, cars, trucks, vans, they have it all. And at Riverside Chevrolet, you get first-class service. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net or check them out on Facebook. Great reviews, you'll love it.
Get ready for a jolly good time for the first Santa Drop event in Prattville at the Willis Bradford YMCA. Join them December 2nd for this magical event when the holiday spirit takes flight. Watch in awe as Santa Claus and the Grinch parachute from the North Pole, spreading good cheer to all. Bring the family and enjoy all the festive activities. Enjoy tasty treats from food trucks while the kids play in the inflatables. Register for the free $2,000 shopping spree, along with a chance to win a free roof from I Am Roofing. There's no admission, just bring a new toy for the toy drive. Don't miss this magical moment, Saturday, December 2nd at Willis Bradford YMCA. Presented by I Am Roofing, At Home Real Estate Team, and Renaissance Mortgage Lending. Some restrictions apply to win the roof, and you must be present to win.
Hey, Doc, nice office. Quick question. If you had to choose, would you give yourself a root canal or run payroll?
Run payroll, no question.
Seriously? Well, have you run payroll before?
Paying my team with Gusto couldn't be easier. Gusto gives me unlimited payroll runs, next day direct deposits, and automatically files my taxes. Saves me time.
Wow, that's nice.
Over here, Doc. Can I run payroll too?
Choose payroll without the pain. Visit gusto.com/radio to sign up for free.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
What's up? I'm tired of feeling so bloated.
That used to be me. Then I got this.
Align Bloating Relief plus food digestion. A probiotic, right?
Yeah, it works naturally with your gut to help soothe occasional bloating and gas. Plus, it has vitamin B12 to aid digestion by helping convert food to cellular energy. 2 benefits, 1 capsule.
Align Bloating Relief plus Food Digestion from the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Learn more at alignprobiotics.com.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark, and the sidekicks off air getting a little scatological there. A little morbid.
We're talking about the plan in Alabama tonight.
What, to kill somebody?
Yeah, that's
Big
the plan.
execution coming up.
Yep. And are they going to do it?
Yeah, we were getting the house odds down.
Well, they've gone from the injection, right, to
No, this is another
injection, not the hypoxia?
Yeah, so
Next
this
up is nitrogen hypoxia, but this will be lethal injection. Going to try it again.
Right. I think I'm on a no. I don't think it's going to happen.
I'd rate it about 60-40 will happen.
Will happen.
Yeah, but not a lot of confidence in
No, I worry there's going to be issues with the drug administration or administering or something like that.
Can't find a vein.
Yep. Somebody got dehydrated.
Sorry.
Yep.
Can't find a vein. This is the state we live in.
I know.
Okay. We can't even kill somebody.
Right, yeah. It's,
Convicted.
yeah, how humane.
By the way, he's been on death row for 30 years.
30 years.
So he may die of old age anyway.
Right.
So.
All right, well, here,
Doesn't
let's
count.
go to Red Top.
Hey, Red Top.
Hey, good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon.
I want to discuss a little bit about China and Taiwan.
Yeah.
Yesterday, on two networks that you probably don't watch, NHK, which is live news from Tokyo every afternoon at 5:30, and of course NTD News, China Focus, on at 8:30 at night, and they both, without coordinating with each other, gave us a very similar description of what the future of China and Taiwan is, and some good statistics. Okay, here's the deal. Xi wants Taiwan by 2027 when his election comes up, because he's trying to be lifetime just like Chairman Mao. He is modeling everything he does after Chairman Mao. So, and he's looked at very in detail about conquering Taiwan, but then he started to study about the Americans conquering Guam, and it took, over 100,000 soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
And Guam is 1/12 the size of Taiwan, and harder to even beach on. There's only 19 places you can beach on the whole damn island. So he's concluded that he'd have to have 1 million men to take over Taiwan militarily. So his plan now is to do as much character assassination and influence inside Taiwan itself to intimidate the people enough and scare them to where they will give in. And this is according to both news sources.
Doesn't Taiwan have an election this year, too?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're really putting the pressure on the election, too. So their best bet is to brainwash, so to speak, Taiwanese people and get them to succumb before 2027, because 27 is going to decide if she stays in power or not, and he does not want to go.
And there are massive demographic declines in China. They're kind of predicted to go down a peg or two by 2027. So the time is now, but you're right, the military operation would be very difficult to do, and not to mention the Taiwanese have been stocking up, trying to be that so-called porcupine. It wouldn't exactly be an easy operation.
No.
But what I've been, learned and been told from watching all sorts of stuff is that whether it was Xi or somebody else in the Chinese government, Taiwan is clearly one of their red lines down the road. It like they could be as democratic as us, and they would not want Taiwan to become an independent nation. So,
oh, no. And the scary part is, Joe, is that Japan gets 90% of its energy sent through the Straits of Taiwan and 60% of its food. Japan's very concerned about a naval blockade. It would put their asses out.
Yep.
So, and by the way, NTD News at 4:30 on public television, you get to see Japan. That is the most advanced country in the world by far. They got air taxis, self-driving, commuting things all over town. Of course, you would need to be a very regimented, disciplined society like Japan. Americans would never do that because
but they don't
we're
have
100
diversity
different kinds
in
of people.
Japan, so they couldn't be that far advanced.
wait, are you telling me the Japanese want to be Japanese?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, they like being that way too, and they're damn good at it. Glad they're our friends. Roll Tide, go Trump. See you guys.
See you, Red Top.
Red Top. Taking us down the geopolitical lane there.
We still want to go to Japan, though, right? You and me?
Yeah, I would love to go to Japan.
I think it'd be great. Sky, you ever been to Japan?
I have been to Japan.
How was it, man?
Well, unfortunately, we didn't stay, but about 48 hours. And then
I
it was on to Hong Kong.
Hong Kong. I
Yeah.
see.
But I have a
Wait,
friend.
why did you say it though?
Hong Kong?
What is you're talking about Hong Kong?
Hong Kong. What do you guys call
Hong
it?
Kong's like New York on crack.
Right.
It's just
No, I don't say.
Straight
like,
up, baby.
what are you saying? Hong Kong?
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
Hong
Oh,
Kong.
okay. Yeah, now I know what you're
Hong
talking
Kong.
about. All right.
yeah. It's a great place to live if you have a ton of money.
Yeah. I just think
And
Japan
most
would be.
people do. It's very.
It'd be fascinating to people watch, just Japanese culture just all around you. I've always wanted to go to the sushi restaurants where all that stuff's on a conveyor belt and your food just kind of goes by. I don't know why, but I think that's the coolest thing ever.
You don't see a lot of fat Japanese people.
I'll bet I'll find them.
Yeah,
I'll find them because I
you
know that's where the
to
good
look, man.
food's
Yeah.
at, or the size of the studio. Like 5 or 6 people can fit in the bar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about that.
Yeah.
And with me, it'd be me and probably room for one other person, but still, it'd be a good time.
Yeah, it's just such a crazy place. It doesn't seem like it's a Earth thing.
Right.
Like it's from another planet.
Right. It's just and every picture and every video I've seen of Japan, everything's seems to be moving 100 miles an hour.
I think India would be cool too.
I don't know, man.
Well, I don't know either. I'm just kind of. It's a big place.
I'm sure there are parts of India I would love to see, but
Yeah.
you know, there's a Seinfeld episode about India.
I was just thinking that. Man.
I
just being.
I know.
Indian
I know. I
people
can't help it though. It's in my head.
Didn't want to go to the West.
Right.
They,
Even right.
They live there, man.
Thank you, Scott.
I'm just so tired of the xenophobia.
That's not xenophobia.
Yeah, I think the nativism then.
It looks hot. I don't know.
I'm tired of your bigoted, chauvinistic nationalism.
Bigoted. I said I want to go to Japan, not India.
Yeah, okay. Now you're a Japanese nationalist. You gonna be a militarist next week?
Maybe. I do have a uniform.
I just don't.
think I fit
Whatever
in it
you
anymore.
say, I don't like it. I don't like the way you're going. Like you came in here, just the toxic fumes.
Oh, I know.
Of big
It's
country.
flowing out of me like there's no tomorrow. The toxicity.
Hong Kong.
What do you call it?
Hong Kong.
Of course, because you're from Alabama and you speak slow. The rest of the world calls it Hong Kong. Get with the times.
Gotta be
man.
quick.
This part of the program brought to you by Ashley. Ashley at Pest Pro Services.
I like that.
Like, what's wrong with you, Eddie? Isn't Ashley fantastic?
She is absolutely fantastic. Not only is she just a great business owner, I love the fact that she's so involved in the city that she lives in. You can see her at baseball games, football games. She usually does a athlete of the week type deal in the springtime for the baseball and softball players. And on top of that, she's got a great business with a great product and great people that work there. I don't see why anybody in the world would not use Ashley at Pest Pro. I just don't.
They really do fantastic work, folks. They're a great local small business, always giving back to the community. And yeah, any pest control problem you might have, they can solve it.
Definitely.
Especially those problems you need to do preventative maintenance on, like termites.
Termites.
Just get yourself protected against termites. Mosquitoes, too, when it's the right time of year,
Sure.
they can take care of that in your yard. But just get them set up as your everyday pest control
That's the way to
company.
do it. Then you don't have problems with La cucarachas no more, or the with those wooden scorpions. You won't see them hanging out no more.
Right.
The millipedes. I seen one of them the other day. I think they got a gazillion legs on them. You don't have those kind of problems if you have a regular pest control person.
So call up Pest Pro Services today. That's 265-9990, 265-9990. You can also always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro, Pest Pro Services, and be sure to tell Ashley and that great team there that Joey and Eddie and Sky from News and Views in the afternoon sent you. More News and Views after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Actor Portrayal, based on a real patient experience.
I'm Mike. I'm a husband, proud father of two, work my butt off 6 days a week, some nights too. When my family or my company needs me to make it happen, I make it happen. But a few months ago, I started having trouble making it happen, in the bedroom. I tried some pills online, but they didn't work. Honestly, I thought about throwing in the towel on my sex life, but I'm not that old. I still want to enjoy intimacy with my wife. Like that poet said, I don't want to just go gently into that good night. So I went to Montgomery Men's Health. Got some lab work done, was prescribed some meds, and wow, it made it happen. I can't say enough good about them. They took care of me, followed up, and made adjustments to make it happen even better. I even learned I had low testosterone, which they were also treating me for. And I have never felt better. If I were you and you're like me, I'd give them a call today at 334-440-3663 or go to montgomerymenshealth.com. If you like most guys, they'll make it happen for you too.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon, and we have some exciting news to share with you. We've been serving the state of Alabama for many, many years, and now we are able and ready to offer the same great mortgage financing in Georgia and Florida as well.
Our company may be Alabama Home Mortgage, but now we can finance your Georgia home mortgage and your Florida home mortgage too. We couldn't be more excited to extend our customer base to our neighboring states. For years, we have had customers call us in hopes we could assist them with purchasing their vacation cabin in North Georgia or their dream home in Florida. And now we can. For those of you who have family and friends that live in Florida and Georgia, be sure to tell them the good news.
Whether you are looking to purchase or refinance a home located in Alabama, Georgia, or Florida, you owe it to yourself to give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time.
It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
You asked, we listened. Rocky Bottom Materials is now offering full-service landscaping and irrigation installation. Do you need landscape renovations or new landscaping for your property? Tired of dragging water hoses all summer to water your lawn? We can help. Let us create your dream landscape and install an automatic sprinkler system. We can solve any drainage issue in your yard. No more dealing with the mud all winter. Call us at 334-215-3704. Schedule an appointment with our professionals. Rocky Bottom, where beauty and functionality are just a call away.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From a little fender bender to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For over 35 years, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We're seeing some improvement in our forecast today with a sun and cloud mix and a fairly comfortable day temperature-wise. High temperature up to about 71, a little breezy at times. Tonight, slow down to about 57. Tomorrow, look for a mostly cloudy day with a high in the lower 70s. Small risk of an isolated shower by Friday afternoon and Friday night ahead of a cold front. Then on Saturday, we could start off cloudy, but then lots of sunshine with a high temperature up to about 70 on Saturday. Chilly Saturday night, low temperature near 40. We'll be in the upper 60s on Sunday with plenty of sunshine and another big storm system by Monday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
John Bobo with Capital Tractor. Looking for a tractor, excavator, mower, ag implements, or other equipment? Capital Tractor is as close as your smartphone or computer. Find the best deals, financing information, and browse new and used inventory with just a click at CapitalTractor.com.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1. WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Vader and Sky Mosley in the studio with me. And gentlemen, y'all remember a guy named Clay Higgins?
Does ring a bell.
Yeah, it rings a bell.
Clay Higgins is from Louisiana.
Okay.
And he ain't from the fancy parts either.
Oh, Thibodeau?
Kunas.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I said it.
No, I think actually the proper pronunciation of that is Kunas. Yes, like
Today.
Today it is, at least. So Clay Higgins is an elected member of Congress now.
Okay.
And he still holds a reserve law enforcement position. So if things get really bad, they're going to call up their congressman. Clay, we need you back here in the Attorney General's office of Louisiana.
Don't Shaq have that going on too? Like a reserve sheriff or something
Oh,
like that?
and in a few places.
Yeah.
How would you like to deal with Shaquille O'Neal?
He doesn't need the badge.
No.
He's Shaq.
Right.
What can I do for you, sir?
Yes, officer.
Shazam. Or no, what was that one with when he's a wizard or something? I'm trying to
He
think.
was a genie, wasn't he? It was an awful
Yeah,
movie. And he even hates
he's
it.
a genie that came out of the box. Yeah,
That was
right.
a big old box. But yeah.
But Clay Higgins, he's a guy who is like a drug-sniffing dog on the case against the FBI.
Oh, okay.
I smell undercover agents everywhere.
I see.
Hey, Mr. Director, I smell ghost vans, ghost buses. I smell a lot here. I smell a rat indeed.
Okay.
So here is Clay Higgins questioning FBI Director Ray.
I know this guy, yeah.
Yeah, let's listen in together.
With his FBI handler while people were entering the U.S. Capitol. Can you confirm that the FBI had that sort of engagement with your own agents embedded into the crowd on January 6th?
Yeah, it was a guy that was essentially going into the Capitol with other Proud Boys members saying I was in constant contact with my FBI handler.
Oh.
If you are asking whether the violence at the Capitol on January 6th was part of some operation orchestrated by FBI sources and or agents, the answer is emphatically
You're saying no?
No.
You're saying no?
Not
Okay.
violence orchestrated
Let's
by
move
FBI
on.
sources or agents.
Play the
Are you familiar with you know what a ghost vehicle is? Director of the FBI certainly should. You know what a ghost bus is?
A ghost bus?
Ghost bus.
I'm not sure I've used that term before.
Okay. Well, it's pretty common in law enforcement. It's a vehicle that's used for secret purposes.
Yeah, not like Ghostbusters.
That's what I was going with.
Not Scooby Doo.
Yeah, it's not the Roy Parker Jr. song.
I see.
No.
Too bad.
Because I can't. I don't think you can just make Ghost Bus work with that song. There's too few syllables.
It was Mystery Machine.
Mystery
Machine.
Right. Anyway,
I'm clear.
Hey, y'all remember the Magic School Bus? Learned so much from that stupid cartoon. Anyway,
It's painted over. These two buses in the middle here, they were the first to arrive at Union Station on January 6th, 0500. I have all this evidence. I'm showing you a tip of this iceberg.
Mr. Chairman.
These two buses
Mr.
are
Chairman.
painted completely white.
Point of order.
Point of order. Sure.
Just run over the time.
I understand, but you'll recall that Ms. Jackson Lee's been allowed to go 2 minutes before. I've been very fair in letting people finish their questioning throughout my tenure as chairman. And
Right on.
There you go.
Straighten them out.
I feel like that guy's had that conversation before, not just in a committee hearing. Honey, I've been very fair. Been incredibly fair with you. But here I think is what Clay Higgins, Representative Higgins, is getting at.
Okay.
This is from a fellow named Tony Saruga, investor, board member, big data pioneer, Intel ops, CIA, NSA contractor, whistleblower. Has a little under 60,000 followers on the Twitter.
Okay.
But he's from California. And here's what, take this with a grain of salt, Tony Saruga had to say. My partners and I have been lifetime data scientists. We own the digital ID of every mobile device computer in the U.S. and have indexed and archived every IP address in the world. Our extensive experience in big and deep data, including geo-tracking and geolocation, makes our dozens of data companies the top authority for providing data to corporations, law enforcement, and the U.S. government, including agencies like the CIA, NSA, DOD, DIA, NGA, NRO, FBI, as well as Interpol and foreign intelligence organizations. There are a number of videos documenting these ghost buses, as well as a number of mostly nondescript DOJ vans that dropped off ninja-wearing individuals that appear in other videos to have breached the Capitol, cutting fencing, removing barricades, opening doors, and other nefarious behaviors. We also tracked the infamous January 6 pipe bomber from one of these vans. Later, we eventually tracked them to a Virginia metro station where a perfect capture of their vehicle license plate was made. The FBI has all of this information. Shortly after they were alerted, however, AT&T mysteriously, accidentally, corrupted that and only that particular cell phone user's data. Additionally, their mobile device was used hundreds of times before and after January 6, accessing keycard-required DOJ FBI parking garages and buildings.
There's your trail.
Yeah.
It's pretty clear.
But the FBI director said in no way was the violence and the riots and all that going on. Our guys weren't involved with that.
You think those?
We didn't orchestrate anything.
Those ghost buses dropped off the pallets of bricks?
Well, that could be something. That is a real thing, too, from that summer.
Right.
No, and some of my favorite videos were legit BLM protesters. Like, the one I remember is like two young women, probably looked in late teens, early 20s. And this was, I believe, in the Minneapolis area. And they saw this guy blacked out, like he black bloc or ninja looking. Couldn't see anything about him. And that he had a crowbar and he's just smashing windows at the AutoZone. And then when they confront him with the video, like they've got a camera, he just starts walking briskly off and won't talk to him. And just gets away from the scene. And you're like, what the heck was that?
Yep, orchestrated.
Well, to get a pallet of bricks, you need a truck.
Pretty sure.
So they probably rented a U-Haul or some type of rental truck. As many cameras that are around there, somebody caught a license plate. You don't just drop a pallet of bricks like you would drop a package off. That takes a little work to get a pallet of bricks out there. Fact is, they know it was orchestrated, obviously, and that's probably all we'll ever find out about it.
Probably. But I like what is it, Mr. Higgins?
Yeah.
I like where he's going.
I got the evidence. Follow me.
Yeah, I think he's on to something, but he's a character, all right.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Would you believe that he was accused of having to resign from his police duties because of excessive force against a guy he had handcuffed?
I was looking at him, and when you mentioned police, I thought, yeah.
Well, he first went viral because he would put out these, like, warrant videos where it's usually very dispassionate. Where, you know, so-and-so, 25 years old, you've been charged with this, there's a warrant out for your arrest, why don't you just come on in?
Okay.
Pretty straightforward, but Higgins wouldn't do it that way.
Oh?
He would do it kind of like how he's dealing with the FBI director.
I remember this guy.
Like, we know who you are, son. We know what you did. We know where we're going. We're catching you and going to like it. Like, he would get real animated. Like he was doing a wrestling promo or something. And so the videos go viral.
Right.
The police, like, folks are like, hey, man, be a little more professional. Like, what am I? I'm professional.
Did he get results? That's all that should matter.
And people started referring to him as the Louisiana John Wayne for that gruff.
I don't know. There's a lot of folks down there that sound like that.
It's a strange
It's true.
place.
Yeah.
By the way, I have that classic movie channel that's just default on my TV.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the movie, but it's like John Wayne is clearly an outsider, a tourist from Boston, and he's in California during more of the Western times. It's a Western.
Okay.
And the one scene I see is like this lady like, oh, look, the ground is so muddy. I don't know why she's British, but, oh, look, the ground is so muddy, honey. Why can't you? Hold on, I'll come, I'll get you a board to step on. The guy was with her. And, like, the guy runs off. And then John Wayne, dressed to the nines, walks up. Well, ma'am, where I come from, we carry a lady. Just picks her up. She's like, oh, my, you beast, put me down. Well, ma'am. And then she's very impressed, you can tell.
It's Catherine Hepburn.
Right. I'm like, daggum, I got to watch more old movies.
I've seen in that movie, yeah.
Yeah, what movie is that? I'm trying to think.
Look it up,
It's fairly easy to find because of John Wayne from Boston.
Yeah,
okay.
Because it's like, it's one of those, it's a genre within Western, a subgenre, where it's the outsider
Easterner,
comes in
yeah.
and he's just gifted.
Right.
Like, everything he does is right. The one that's comedic that I like is Support Your Local Sheriff.
Oh, that was good.
With Garner, right? Yeah. And it's the same kind of style of flick. So, anyway.
We'll find it.
I don't know if Clay Higgins is actually the John Wayne from what I've seen, but let's go to Denise before this quick break. Hey, Denise.
Hey, Joey. How are you?
Doing great.
Hey, I was just calling to say the gentleman you were talking about with the all blacked out up there in Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm.
That actually turned out to be an off-duty St. Paul police officer.
Oh, off duty. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I had friends up there that knew, or they lived there when it was all happening.
Was there an
They were
explanation for why he was doing what he was doing?
like, no. As a matter of fact, all of that got covered up and it quieted down, and he just kind of like split off into nothing, and nothing was ever done to him that I know of.
That's just a shame. And there's too many of these, loose ends. I'll put it that way.
Right.
Way
And
too
I mean,
many loose ends.
the ghost bus thing that Clay's talking about, that did happen. We all saw it happen. We have videos. Videos have been out the day after, since January 7th. Even that evening, there were people that were like, yeah, I was just paid to be there. And his video has just started making its recycling again. But that was out the same day. That was on January 6th. As soon as he got back to his room, a guy, posted a video. I've just been paid and just gotten back. We're not MAGA people, but we were paid to go there and start a lot of trouble.
Right. And no, what I find beautiful is there are more and more folks whose eyes are opening up.
Was stolen.
Yeah.
I mean, never before in the history of the United States did 5 key states stop counting on election night. Never before happened.
Well, and I'll say this, as an everyday voter, as just an average American, the whole idea that you, like average Joe, have to prove everything beyond a reasonable doubt of what the government's up to, and including collusion with the media and all this. No, you don't. Like, you're not in charge, but you know what a powerful thing you can do? It's one of the last freedoms you can ever have that they can never take away from you is change your attitude and open your eyes.
Ask questions.
Yeah, my
Seek
daughter,
answers.
I'm really impressed. My daughter actually came to me last night, my youngest. She's 23 now, but she came to me last night and she says, have you read, and this is making, just to let you know, this is really impacting young people, what's going on in Israel and Palestine right now. They have started recirculating the letter to America from Osama bin Laden on Twitter. Or not on Twitter, I'm sorry, on TikTok. And it is waking people up, the young people. They're getting a lot from that message. So it might be a good time to revisit that and share it on your web pages and read it ourselves, because the message in it really points to who the guilty parties are in this. And it has nothing to do with Muslims and Jews. It actually has to do with greed and narcissism and human trafficking and all the things behind it.
Yeah.
So, but if my 23-year-old, who is decidedly left, sadly, but if she came to me last night and said, what happened on 9/11? Didn't know that there was a third building that fell, and I said, why don't you go research the third building? And you got to go slow with them. You got to be gentle with them. But she's going to go research Building 7, and she knows it was an inside job now, which it laid me out. I was shocked when she mentioned this.
See, I don't buy that it's an inside job. I don't think it was.
Oh, I definitely. How did Building 7 come down, Joey?
Like structural problems being next to buildings falling on it? I don't know.
The day after Donald Rumsfeld announced that they'd lost $2.3 trillion and couldn't account for it.
Right, they can't
that
pass
also
an
happened
audit.
to be the building where everything was stored, all the information was stored. Yeah, okay. And it all fell right on its own footprint? Okay.
Well, there are multiple angles to that thing falling. But anyway.
Have a great day.
You too, Denise. Thanks, son.
Speaking of pallets of bricks and government-sponsored civil unrest and riots, you notice all that went way, way down, the incidents, once Trump left office?
Oh, yeah, right, exactly.
It's a coincidence.
Right.
Isn't it? How about that?
How about that?
Almost makes you think maybe that was
coordinated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't mind the idea that the government was asleep at the wheel when it came to 9/11, and that all of a sudden all these bin Laden family members are flown out of the country. High-level Saudi people are flown out. Yeah, I think there are a lot of lies, and the narrative isn't quite as buttoned up as it should be, so people are going to believe what they want. I don't quite buy the inside job argument. That said,
never have.
272-9228. No, and imagine, what was the guy, I can't remember his name, the World Trade Center bombing with the truck in the 90s.
Sheikh.
The Sheikh?
Yeah. And as he drove by, he said, we'll come back, we'll get it next time.
No, and imagine if he had parked it correctly.
Sheikh Mohammed.
Yeah, imagine if he had parked it at the right spot. You would have had even more dead than, you would have had 20,000 dead from the crashing buildings into each other. So, that's a shame. But do we expect the government to tell us the truth?
Nope.
At this day and age?
Not anymore.
I don't think so.
A lot of people don't think the government killed Kennedy.
Still.
A lot of people don't think that.
I don't think it was like the government. I think that's where people go wrong. Like, the government did this. Like, I'd imagine it was parts of CIA, parts of the mob, parts of different interests that didn't like the guy. Like, a clique maybe within the government.
Well, sure. I mean, it wasn't the Department of Urban Affairs, no.
Right.
But
that didn't exist back then.
Right. Yeah, just straight in my head. But it was a coordinated effort by government officials to get rid of that man. No doubt.
I do believe that.
It was not, I don't think it was any civilians involved in that, besides maybe a few patsies. That's my opinion.
272-9228. Hey, this part of the program brought to you by XI Repair, and there at XI Repair, Jonathan Strange and his team are ready to help you.
Yeah, they will.
When it comes to, that smartphone of yours, they can help you with that pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah.
They can help you with a cracked screen or a dirty port. Maybe your charger ain't connected. Or it could be the charger's connected just fine, but your battery's not holding the charge.
Yep, that happened.
They can replace that battery for you for a very reasonable fee and do it very quickly.
Or maybe you want a new phone because you're tired of that old piece of crap you got.
They've got them.
They've got them. And they've got good deals on them, too.
Mm-hmm. And you don't have to get the latest model.
No, not at all.
Like, there's something from last year or 2 years ago that's still a great device, but it's not going to break the bank like the new stuff.
Exactly.
Of course, they can also work on desktop computers, laptop computers, high-end gaming consoles like a PS5. They can even do data recovery services.
Yep.
So if that soon-to-be ex-husband of yours, you know he was cheating on you, you had the text, and then he tried to delete them, but you're like, hey, XI Repair, can you recover this information?
Yes, they can.
They can do it. Have your attorney contact them. So check out XI Repair today. You can always call them at 777-1234. That's 777-1234. Or just go to xirepair.com and be sure to tell them you heard about them here on News and Views in the afternoon. More News and Views after this.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. President Biden and Chinese President Xi's face-to-face meeting appears to have helped ease tensions between their two nations. Serious challenges remain, but President Biden says he was hopeful their meeting laid the groundwork for cooperation rather than conflict. California authorities arresting a man in connection with the death of Jewish protester Paul Kessler during demonstrations over the Israel-Hamas war. United Auto Workers Union members voting to approve a new contract with General Motors, making that company the first Detroit automaker to get a ratified deal that could end a lengthy labor dispute. And that contract had a big lead in voting at Ford and Stellantis. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 104 points and the Nasdaq off 13 points. This is SRN News.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, and evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. Because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word faith to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word faith to 989898 and you're going to be blessed by taking action right now.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We're seeing some improvement in our forecast today with a sun and cloud mix and a fairly comfortable day temperature-wise. High temperature up to about 71, a little breezy at times. Tonight, slow down to about 57. Tomorrow, look for a mostly cloudy day with a high in the lower 70s. Small risk of an isolated shower by Friday afternoon and Friday night ahead of a cold front. Then on Saturday, we could start off cloudy, but then lots of sunshine with a high temperature up to about 70 on Saturday. Chilly Saturday night, low temperature near 40. We'll be in the upper 60s on Sunday with plenty of sunshine and another big storm system by Monday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. A Auburn biotechnology company is closing next spring. Thermo Fisher Scientific announced they will close the site in Auburn, Alabama in May of 2024. All 97 employees will be losing their jobs. Thermo Fisher Scientific is a global company with an annual revenue of $40 billion. Alabama State University's annual Christmas tree lighting ceremony begins today at 4:30 p.m. on the ASU Academic Mall. The event marks the official kickoff for the 99th Turkey Day Classic. The public is welcome and encouraged to attend with music and seasonal refreshments available for all. Montgomery's 908th Aircraft Wing is transitioning to the Air Force new Gray Wolf helicopters. The chopper is replacing the Air Force fleet of UH-1N Huey helicopters. Maxwell is awaiting the arrival of the first two helicopters this spring, with a total of 10 Gray Wolves arriving by 2028. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Hunting season is here. It's time for you to get on over to Prattville Farm Center. Here's Randy to tell you all that he's got on the shelf for you to buy.
We got some good deals. We have seed mixes from WMS, Pennington, Kelly Seed. We have every kind of seed you could possibly want. So y'all come on down here and we'll get them green fields planted. By the way, if you need sprayer parts for your equipment, we got that too. Come on down. 1154 South Memorial Drive in Prattville, 365-5400, 365-5400.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. At PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon, 272-9228. If you want to get in on the program, that's 272-9228. Just keeping a quick update here on our senators.
Yeah.
They split. And actually there was a split within the Alabama delegation and the House, too, at least the Republican side. But Senator Britt votes in favor of common sense measure to avoid federal shutdown, while Tuberville says no and dissents. So the U.S. Senate yesterday, on Wednesday, passed a continuing resolution to fund the federal government through early next year. Much like the situation during the House of Representatives vote on Tuesday, Alabama senators were at odds, with Katie Britt voting in favor of the continuing resolution and Tommy Tuberville voting against it. The resolution set January 19, 2024 as the funding deadline for 4 appropriations bills and February the 2nd, 2024 as the deadline for the remaining 8. See, I was mentioning this earlier, that Mike Johnson realizes, okay, I don't have time. I was put in, the clock already run out.
Right.
I want to do these 12 regular appropriations bills. But since the clock is run out, and it's not my fault, I'm not the one who sat here holding the ball for months and months and months. You know, they took vacations and stuff. Yeah. But I think this is actually not a bad idea to break those up within the continuing resolutions and to do it only for a very short period of time. So you actually pass the damn things in the right way. So we'll see where this goes. But Britt said she voted for the stopgap measure to support critical workers and not to add the burden of a potential government shutdown during the holiday season. Quote, this measure, which was drafted by House Republicans, will ensure that Americans don't see an interruption in critical government services. And our troops, Border Patrol agents, ICE officers, and Capitol Police will continue to be paid. That's according to Senator Britt. When 1819 News reached out to Tuberville's office for comment Wednesday evening, they didn't receive a response.
I see.
The resolution passed the Senate 87-11 and will now go to the president's desk to be signed before the funding deadline expires Saturday.
You think he's going to sign it? You think he's going to sign it, Joe?
It's a close one.
Yeah.
This was really almost complete chaos. You know?
Yeah, almost complete. Yeah.
Thank goodness.
It was so close to chaos here.
Right.
Wow.
So close indeed. 272-9228. And then other Alabama news. This has gone viral on 1819news.com. Have you ever heard of Tiger Jake?
Yes.
Yeah, always with me. $1,000 reward offer for missing Tiger
I
Jake.
think find Tiger Jake safe.
Yeah, and I'll put my tablet up here, folks, so you can see him on the live stream. That's Tiger Jake. And he's gone missing.
Yeah.
It's the most heartbreaking daggum thing I've ever heard. A cute little dog.
He's a cute puppy.
Gotta find him.
Yeah.
But Tiger Jake, an Auburn football legend in his own right, is missing, and his owner is desperately searching. A $1,000 reward is offered to anyone who can find the 12-year-old white Maltese. Tiger Jake's owner, Ron Samford, told 1819 News the dog was last seen Friday inside a screened-in porch. Samford said he searched the area and saw no signs of Tiger Jake. He hopes someone picked him up because the dog is microchipped and has an identification tag.
Okay.
Good.
Man.
They've done their part.
How long has Tiger Jake been missing? Just yesterday.
Yeah.
No, that makes me not feel good. You know what's coming up.
Last seen Friday.
Alabama-Auburn game. Hope they get him back for the game.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
That'd be a nice reunion.
$1,000 reward too. So somebody do the right thing.
For real.
Man, yeah. If you know the whereabouts of Tiger Jake, let Ron Samford know. And we've got a new Senate Majority Leader here. I thought I'd read this.
Okay.
Just because it's he's a leader, right?
All right.
With less than a month in his new role as state Senate Majority Leader, and this is after Schofield, who was the Senate Majority Leader, went to the Business Council of Alabama. And that's after rumors leaked he was doing that. And then he said it's a shame that untrue rumors get in the press. And then he took the job. It turns out the stuff was true.
It's training for coaching in college football.
Right. They're going to have to take me out of here in a pine box.
Exactly. Excuse me, I'll be right back.
With less than a month into his new role as state Senate Majority Leader, State Senator Steve Livingston, he's from Scottsboro, Alabama.
All right.
Nice place.
Is working on ways to improve the Republican caucus and prepare for the next legislative session. He recently discussed with 1819 News his new leadership position and what he can do to better serve the Senate Republican caucus. He said communication between leadership and members was one of the most pressing issues the caucus wanted addressed. Quote, I am learning every day, and I think the number one thing that is important to my members is they want to be able to know what is going on and to be able to communicate back home with their folks. That's going to be my number one goal. So what's the job of a Senate majority leader? Make sure people know what's going on.
Don't get caught with your pants down. That's number one job.
No, I just sometimes love the political speak. My number one job here is to make sure everybody in my caucus knows what's going on.
I know that's the cue card in line number one, but really, what is the true first job is do not get caught with your pants down.
Well, I'm wondering, is it like the majority leader, or they actually going to run the Senate, or is Bobby Singleton still going to run it as a Democrat? Because that's, I think, what's going on.
Hello.
The last legislative session saw friction between Senate Republicans and Democrats, as well as the Senate and House, which at times brought both chambers to a standstill. Oh, what a shame. We can't have that. When asked about Democrat obstruction in the Senate, Livingston said he did not support a rules change. The rules are for both sides, and we won't change them to skew for us or them. We've got to have fair rules, and that gives them the opportunity to do what they want or do what they do, and we will manage our way around that situation. Or situation.
Or both.
Yeah, this is really, really fascinating stuff here. But, okay, good for Steve Livingston. Congrats on being the new majority
Keep them
senator.
in line there, Steve.
Hey, you want to do something a little more scandalous?
I'm all about the scandal.
You are?
I am.
All right. This is a story we didn't quite get to yesterday, if it'll actually open up for me. This is that FDIC story, Eddie.
Oh, yes.
Scott, do you remember me previewing this?
Yeah, you teased it, but
Yeah, we just never got to it.
I thought you went and did some research or something on it. We're going to come back today with some new stuff.
No, this is straight from the Wall Street Journal. Strip clubs, lewd photos, and a boozy hotel. The toxic atmosphere at bank regulator FDIC. Employees say sexual harassment, misogyny pervade federal agency tasked with ensuring stability of nation's banks, driving women to leave.
Wow. So they are hiring.
A male Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation supervisor in San Francisco invited employees to a strip club. A supervisor in Denver had sex with his employee, told other employees about it, and pressed her to drink whiskey during work. Senior bank examiners texted female employees photos of their penises.
no, not that.
Again, I'm reading from the Wall Street Journal, folks. A toxic work environment at the FDIC, one of the nation's top bank regulators, has for years caused employees to flee from an agency they say enabled and failed to punish bad behavior. This is Wall Street Journal investigation based on interviews with FDIC employees, as well as legal filings, union grievances, equal employment opportunity complaints, emails, text messages, and other internal documents. Well, this is a bit juicy. A cultural reckoning on sexual harassment, sexism in the workplace, and the hashtag #MeToo movement has transformed offices in recent years. Yet the FDIC continues to show a hesitance to impose harsh discipline on managers accused of misconduct, employees said. Female examiners left the FDIC because of what they say was a sexualized boys' club environment and the belief they were consistently given fewer opportunities than their male counterparts. A belief. Just saying that's the key word in that sentence. According to interviews with more than 100 current and former employees, including more than 20 women who quit. While traveling to banks across the country, where regulators are meant to evaluate banks' financial stability and compliance with regulations, male examiners talked openly about female colleagues' appearances.
Sounds like a pretty toxic place to work.
That ever go on at Hyundai?
Not for long. Women at Hyundai will knock the crap out of you.
Wait, people didn't talk about how one another looked at Hyundai.
Yeah, they did, but not in front of the other person.
Oh, right.
Not within earshot.
Not openly,
No.
okay.
No,
All
but
right.
now behind the scenes, well,
Right.
of course.
Right. A former female employee recalled her male colleague saying women needed to use sex to get ahead at the FDIC as they stared at her. Yeah, I mean, that's not cool, man.
No.
It's a little creepy, dude.
This is a government agency.
Yeah. All these
I don't know.
perverted
They don't know.
nerds are good with the money, but they don't know the first thing about the ladies.
I would think they could, if it was this rampant, the girls or ladies, whoever, would have got together and did a little sting operation.
But it wasn't just the sex and misogyny.
There's more?
The agency tolerated a heavy drinking culture. The FDIC's 11-story hotel outside Washington, where out-of-town employees stay when attending training, was a party hub where people have vomited in the elevator and urinated off the roof after nights of heavy debauchery, actually heavy drinking. The carousing spawned an Instagram account that posted in 2021, if you haven't puked off the roof, were you ever really an FIS, referring to the bank examiner in training? On Monday, after this article was published, FDIC Chairman Martin Grunberg said that in response to the journal's investigation, the agency has hired the law firm Baker Hostetler to look into alleged harassment and discrimination.
I predict a settlement in the future.
Call up the white-shoed lawyers. They're on to our sex and boozing, gentlemen.
But is it not strange that the FDIC has a hotel?
This is a little odd.
Yeah, it's convenient, isn't
But
it?
ironically enough, Hyundai also has a hotel in Korea that they send us to.
Well, right,
And
but
a
I mean,
lot
it's
of those,
legit, though.
yeah, but a lot of those same kind of things.
It sounds like the FDIC has just broken into the top 10 of most debauched, corrupt government agencies. Man.
If they're hiring right out of college, they're going to get some frat boys in there.
Well, and
That's not easy.
some went on saying that life on the road working for the FDIC was the quote-unquote Wild West. One of the female examiners who received a photo of a colleague's penis was traveling with a team to conduct a bank exam in North Carolina in 2018. She decided to avoid a confrontation about it because the team was staying at the same hotel and working closely together. Yeah, too closely.
Yeah, right.
Another examiner, Neha Singh, joined the FDIC's San Francisco office in 2017 as a trainee, her first job out of college. She was immediately sent out on the road, a typical assignment for trainees. For examiners in some offices, that could mean traveling as many as 100 nights a year. I don't know what.
Yeah.
Often with all or mostly male teams, although travel has been reduced somewhat since the pandemic. At first, Singh, eager to make friends in a new city, attended team happy hours and spent time with colleagues outside of work. Eventually, she began withdrawing from the FDIC social scene. She continued to feel the pressure from her colleagues to come out drinking every night, particularly while traveling. Examiners accused her of ignoring them when she declined to drink with them. She said one told her, "You seem a little arrogant." When Singh did join the team for a drink, she believed her male colleagues were tracking how many glasses of wine she drank and urging her to drink more.
Yeah.
I felt really taken advantage of in a moment where I was totally vulnerable, she said. So she quit in 2022, in her first year after earning her commission. The designation needed to be a full-fledged examiner. She said she was explicit with senior managers in the office that she was leaving because of what she viewed as a culture of harassment and misogyny. One manager told her that they had heard similar concerns from other women and knew it was a problem. Huh. So
It doesn't just happen just there. It happens lots of places.
I believe it, man.
I've seen it just about every place I think I've ever worked, except my company.
So if we pass more rules and regs, this will go away, right?
No, it doesn't.
Let's go to Pat. Hey, Pat, how you doing?
Hey, Pat.
Well, that's a tough story to follow.
Yeah, it is.
I heard you use the chaos word, and I had a flashback when I was in the service. We had an acronym that we periodically posted on the bulletin board, and then took it down quickly. But it was Colonel has another outstanding suggestion.
That's pretty good.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Thought y'all would enjoy that.
I like it.
I'm sorry I kept you on hold so long, Pat.
I
No
enjoyed it.
problem. Have a blessed day.
You too, Pat. Thanks, bro.
No, it's pretty good right there. Yeah, it goes on. This story is like long investigative report.
I mean, I hate sounding this way, but it sounds like 90% of the places I've ever worked. That's
Really?
Yes.
There's a lot of
culture
drinking
going
and
out, yeah.
sex, and like
Well,
even
I don't know who's
pictures of
getting the
people's
sex, but-
penises
Yeah,
being
that's-
texted.
I find that one.
You guys need to get out in the
man.
workplace a little more. I'm telling you.
People actually do that.
Yeah.
They think it's a good
Let
idea.
me tell you something that's going to
send
surprise
a
you.
woman.
Let me tell you something that's going to probably surprise both of you. And I've
I
worked at
just-
several factories. For a lot of folks that in factory life, you've got a wife at home and you've got a wife at work.
I've heard
That's
that.
just a fact, matter of fact.
Man.
And it happens not just at 1-2 factories. It happens most of them.
Sky, this track with you?
No, absolutely not.
You don't. So yeah, I'm on the same page as you then.
Oh, I was
like
taking it
Eddie,
back
I don't
too.
know where you're getting all this.
Life. Let me tell you another thing that's disturbing. At Appleton Wire, since they're out of business, I can say it.
Okay.
When you went into the men's bathroom,
I've lived life. I've seen
let me tell you, this was disturbing.
I've seen it.
Went into the men's bathroom,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they keep the doors open while they're and talking to you while they're doing their business. Kind of gross. But it was become the norm. It's something I had to get used to.
Speaking of LBJ.
Yes.
Exactly. No, I'm talking about in the stalls. Doors open.
Ew.
Right.
No.
Right.
Oh,
I'm
that's
telling you
just-
guys.
That's just gross, man.
Yeah. I was in my early or late 20s, early 30s when I went there, and I was like, what is going on? It's the norm. Or it was there anyway.
Man, it's amazing what you can get used to, I guess. Or what
well,
people, as it goes along.
When the
what
money's
becomes
right, Sky,
accepted.
when the money's right, you just have to make certain
I
sacrifices.
guess so, man. But,
Well, there's more.
wow.
Boys Club. Multiple women said they were repeatedly passed over for assignments to lead bank exams, which is a big deal. It's how you make the money, and then penalized. Excuse me.
Right. Freudian.
Yeah. Then penalized in performance reviews for not having led any bank exams. Trainees are heavily dependent on their supervisors to assign them the exams they need to ultimately earn their commission. Many women said they felt their male colleagues were able to progress more quickly, in part because they would go golfing and out drinking with their supervisors and then get plum assignments. You know, what it would be a crazy twist, too, if it's not just the women, though, who are forced to have sex with supervisors. It's the guys, too. These people are just depraved.
Animals.
I ain't working on them places.
Like it's not even a preference thing. It's not even their it's like it's a power thing. They just like getting people humiliated in a sexual way.
Let's say you, me, and Sky, we're in this thing together. You're the manager. Me and Sky are the little co-manager guys.
Yeah.
Well, Sky has to go home every night. Okay, has to go home every night. But you and me, we're single. You know, I get to hang out. Who do you think are you going to start turning to on a regular basis?
Yeah.
Sky's got other responsibilities, but Eddie here, he can do it. And so I don't agree
take
with
care of your
necessarily.
friends above,
Right.
given the opportunity.
And you socialize with people, you get to know them. So there are certain aspects where I don't want to say it was sexist, but that you did something the team didn't do, and the team decided, hey, I'm used to Joey. I know Joey's dependable. He's going to be my wide receiver from now on.
Yeah.
That happens, man.
You take care of your own.
Right.
I'm just surprised somewhat, and I'm being a little facetious, about this is a government agency.
That doesn't surprise me.
Okay, and our government is all about, you know, the
Hypocrisy?
rights of women and Me Too and all these honorable, and it's come up before. I don't have, you know, the notes on it right now, but then you get down to the trenches and these
not that way.
departments, and they're horrible, man.
Right. It's not that way, man.
Yeah, all the virtue signaling is just that.
Fake, man.
But here's more. Apparently, there's one lady named Limmer. That's her.
Okay.
Very professional.
Yes. And easy on the eyes.
Shut up, you sexist.
It's okay to
Don't
admire.
even. No, just don't even. In this context,
okay,
the middle of these dirty government managers at the FDIC sending pictures of their penises, you're going to make a comment about a lady's looks?
I'm sorry.
You're forgiven.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Yeah, you're forgiven.
I won't do it again.
I don't get something else. Why are people sending those pictures out?
I know.
So-
I do not get that.
So Limmer,
Even Eddie doesn't get that.
No.
Okay.
Limmer had a supervisor named Trevor McIntosh, or McIntosh.
McIntosh.
McIntosh, yeah. There's no A in the Mac, but you know what I'm talking
MC
about.
Hammer.
Folks. But referred to her as a male colleague's girlfriend. They weren't dating, and asked her colleague during golf outings about Limmer's sex life, including asking who at the agency was sleeping with her. She said the colleague told her. Limmer quit for a job in the private sector before she had finished training to become an examiner because she didn't see a way to improve the situation. She never filed a complaint, but when she left, she told the field supervisor, Andrea Davis, and Human Resources about her experience, telling them at McIntosh she's a problem. She said she never heard from them again. McIntosh's leadership also rankled other women who said they felt disadvantaged by a boys' club environment where McIntosh would hang out with male employees, including at one point visiting a strip club together. Well, this just ain't cool. Are we surprised by it, though?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Certainly not Eddie.
No,
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, like you've seen too much, man, I think.
I had a few jobs.
Yeah, I think you've seen way too much. Let's go to Debbie. Hey, Debbie.
Hi.
Hey, Debbie.
Yes, I know all about it. I have been through it, and there has never been a job that I have liked enough to ever fight it because, it's just not worth it to me. So I just walk.
Yep.
But if it were a job that was worth it, hey, there's something called blackmail, and I would not hesitate. I'm just that type. I would use it against them. So sometimes you have to play ball the hard way.
Yep.
There's other ways of getting around it. And most of these men, no doubt, are married. Most of them will have to put out, somewhat of a, fake false front. And you can't have somebody ratting you out.
Right.
So I don't know. I just think that if you ladies are really wanting that job, play hardball. Sometimes you have to.
That's right.
I think that's what they were being asked to do, and they didn't want to. I appreciate it, Debbie.
But you have to have the pictures.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and they got to be
You got to have that
identifiable.
evidence,
Right.
Okay, that's my little spiel on it. Y'all have a good one.
You too.
John Lennon was right. Women do have it tough, and I can't imagine.
Oh, man.
Putting up all of that. Just no.
Yeah.
No way.
Other place I've worked where it was mainly a male-dominated environment, we had a lot of female engineers and things like that.
Yeah.
And it was awful. I used to ask these girls, how do you deal with it? How do you, and it wasn't a matter of they were just over the top, but it would always be, if one of them was walking by, somebody would call them over, they would act like they had a problem with a piece of machinery or something, but it always lead to something else.
Yeah, I get you.
And I was just like, how do you guys do it? I couldn't do it. But like one girl told me, she said, Eddie, this is in her 40s in, she said, I'm 40-something years old, I've dealt with this kind of crap my whole life. Ain't nothing.
You become desensitized to it to a degree?
Yep.
This part of the program brought to you by Cole Plumbing. James Cole, best plumber in town.
No doubt, buddy.
Really love that guy. And, well, they put together great teams and great work there at Cole Plumbing, especially if you have a plumbing emergency. They have this proprietary pipe lining technology that allows them with minimal discomfort to you and your home to get in there and solve the problem. So whether it's a burst pipe inside or outside your home, they're not going to make a big muddy mess, whether you're talking about a big hole in your backyard or all that drywall having to be torn out, which can also become a big muddy mess in its own right.
In the house.
Again, they can solve that issue with precision and expertise. They can also help you with a lot of everyday plumbing issues like clogged drain, low water pressure, maybe even tree root invasion. Could be you don't have a big problem. Your problem is, hey, I'm tired of this old water heater. So maybe you want to upgrade to a tankless water heater system. They can do all that there at Cole Plumbing. So check them out today. You can always go to coleplumbing.com or give them a call at 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole.
That's right.
Man, I feel like I need to take a shower after that segment.
Oh, I'm going to give you some facts when we go to the break, buddy.
What facts?
He's coming with
What facts?
I'll tell you during the break, and if you want to explain it to everybody, you can. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news.
Have to do with sex in the workplace or something?
Yep. And settlements.
Oh, there's money.
34 million.
We'll be right back.
Joey Clark.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
I'm with Miss Dot at the Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall. Dot, you got a big event coming up.
The most major event of the year, Christmas Open House at Eastbrook. And it will be December 2nd it's a Saturday, from 9 until 6. We'll have probably a few little snacks around. I know there'll be popcorn and probably cider and lemonade and probably some gift certificates. And all of the vendors have been asked to do at least 20% discount. Some will do more. That is a really good day to stock up on good mahogany furniture or Christmas things or gifts right now. Eastbrook is about 60,000 square feet. We are a high-end flea market, if you want to call it that. An elevator with 3 floors. Come join us.
All right, remind us one more time of the day and time of your Christmas open house.
December 2nd from 9 until 6. It's a Saturday.
That's the Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall, 429 Coliseum Boulevard.
The Tierce family has been your local Roto-Rooter service since 1964. Drain cleaning, plumbing repair, and those troublesome septic tanks, no problem. Technology has changed a bit in the last 54 years. Video inspections of lines to locate problems is available, as well as scheduling your appointment online. River Region residents have trusted Roto-Rooter for over half a century. You can too. Call today at 272-7130 or visit online at rotorooteralabama.com.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Is your cell phone or iPad cracked, broken, or not working right? Don't let the big carrier stores sucker you into a new $1,100 device. Let XI Repair fix your device today. XI Repair fixes cell phones, computers, laptops, iPads, game consoles, drones, and more. Their certified technicians fix hundreds of devices every day. When your device needs care, call XI Repair, 334-777-1234, or Google XI Repair.
This is your roving reporter, and today I'm talking with a famous broadcaster.
Hey man, what's happening?
Now, I understand you radio people move a lot, is that correct?
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, how does this affect your taking care of your retirement money?
Oh man, I don't give that a second thought because my buddy David Ernest, he's my money man.
Your money man?
With the money plan.
I see.
So no matter where I go up and down the dial, David has my back, you know?
I'll bet you know some phone numbers our listeners could call to talk with David Ernest.
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
And he has a website at retirewithernest.com.
Hey, you're on top of it today, man.
I also understand that you hold some sort of a record in broadcasting.
Yes. I was the first person to put together a show with myself, a duck, a chicken, and a goose. But it didn't last long. We got taken off the air.
Why were you taken off the air?
Too much foul language, man.
Oh, my.
So I wasn't crazy about that one myself.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Man, if they had... Well, we have microphones in here, but...
Yeah, we're smart enough not to turn them on most of the time.
Right, most of the time. Now, where we left off here, Eddie, is you said you had stats about settlements, like sexual harassment settlements?
One in particular, and this was a big one when I went to work in manufacturing. And I know the story. I know people that work there, so I actually know the whole lowdown.
Yeah. But
this was Mitsubishi Motor Manufacturing, I believe, in Chicago, around Chicago.
Oh, I was going to guess Hong Kong.
No, not to Hong Kong. But basically, they had their plant going. They were making cars mid-'90s. And I guess at some point it became a practice for people to trade out sexual favors for come and do my job for a couple hours. And word got around, and I guess, word got around. The plant, I guess it was widely known in the plant and in management, and no one ever did anything about it. Well, somebody finally called the EEOC. And they came in, did their investigation, and fined Mitsubishi $34 million. Yeah. And the sad thing is, again, I know people that work there, so I know the whole stories. That changed a lot of things in HR, changed a lot of things in training, but did not change that practice one single bit.
Wow.
They got rid of some of what they considered problem employees, but that practice continued.
See, you bringing this up made me think about the FDIC again. And with the FDIC, I'm sure, yeah, from the description of what those women were putting out there, it's not cool.
No.
Like, if I had a female boss that was constantly harassing me about, send me a picture of your penis, I'd be like,
especially if you work,
go away, ma'am, you're
if
gross.
you work for the government.
Right.
I mean, it's one thing to work for a private sector. You're like, I can quit and go elsewhere. Right. This is the weight of the government you're feeling.
Right. But how many do you think good timers were there? You know, gals that grew up with brothers.
I saw that everywhere. Yeah.
Right. And this is my point, that the culture isn't just a man culture.
No,
the way it's
not.
always put is like, oh, it's just men doing this. I don't think it's just men.
It's not just men, but it's...
Men are the more aggressive in their sexual advances, clearly. But I don't think they'd be behaving that way unless somebody was getting something, so to speak.
Sure, but like Sky said, in this day and time, I couldn't believe that's still just so casual.
Right.
The whole. I've got a wife at work or a husband at work and a husband or wife at home. I still, to this day, I can't get over that. But that is a normal practice in a lot of places.
Well, how about this? I've got some stats from Forbes Advisor on workplace romances.
Okay.
Now, 40% of people have cheated on an existing partner with a colleague at work.
I can see that.
40%, folks.
How often? How much do you work? Especially if you work alongside somebody.
Right.
Yep.
43% have married someone they met at work.
Yep. Ooh, what's the divorce rate, though?
47% have changed jobs to date a colleague.
I think that's the best idea.
Nearly 1/3 create a breakup plan when dating a colleague. 62% report their relationship to HR.
I don't know if I do that.
Half of the people at work have engaged in flirtatious behavior with colleagues.
Yeah, everybody does it.
Yeah, that's not... You can tell when somebody's being a creep and somebody's just making a stupid joke.
Right.
Like, you get to know somebody, you know, it depends on your relationship, I guess, with the person.
Yeah.
But less than 1 in 5 say dating a colleague is unprofessional. So there's all sorts of, like, above-board dating.
Sure. Well,
and cheating and all this stuff.
If you're in the workplace, I mean, if you're there 8-10 hours a day, you usually get to know your work family as well or better than your home family. You're always there.
Right. Yeah, I'm not finding a quick divorce rate here in this report, but this is prevalent all over the place, sadly.
Yeah.
And I guess it's just me and you in here most of the day, so there's no risk of that crap happening.
Not really.
Thank God.
I do like it when we bring in an attractive woman, though.
Yeah, the temptations almost.
Well, both of us kind of get a little testosterone.
Yeah, no, you know, Eddie, I can resist everything except temptation.
That's the only thing?
Yep.
Man. Mm-hmm. Got to work on that, Joe.
Though, I've also heard it said that satisfaction is the death of desire, so sometimes be careful what you ask for.
Oh, I've learned the lesson on be careful what you ask for.
Like, because you might get it.
You'll get it good, whether you want it or not.
Hey.
Right.
Hey. This part of the program brought to you by Dylan Ring. So maybe you fell in love with somebody at work, and you want to ask them to marry you.
Ooh, that's a big step.
You make it official.
Yeah.
You know, they've got those engagement rings there.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of them.
They were Dylan Rings. Yeah, amazing stuff. Truly amazing stuff there at Dylan Rings. And here's the great news, folks. They're extending their ladies' night sale.
I heard.
On all sorts of select items. Now, different for each item, but some items are 10% off, some are 30% off, some are 40%. You even have some items there that are 60% off.
Holy cow.
And so when you're talking about these big ticket items, you're talking about thousands of dollars worth of savings. Pretty incredible.
That's a heck of a deal.
Stuff. So the best way to check out what they have on offer, or just at least samples of what they have there, is go to Dylan Rings on social media. That could be on the Book of Faces.
Right.
Just search Dylan Rings on Facebook or on Instagram.
That's right. They do the gram.
And right now on Instagram, I am looking at a chocolate diamond ring.
Ooh.
Wow. It is normally priced at $5,750, but because of these extended ladies' night sales, extended through Black Friday, this $5,700 ring, $2,300.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I mean by thousands of dollars worth
Holy
of savings.
cow. That's
And
a heck
this
of a
is
savings.
a truly incredible piece because it's not just the chocolate diamond. It looks like there are other diamonds, smaller ones that are straddling the big chocolate diamond. A remarkable piece right there. But of course, at Dillon Rings, it's not just the great selection. They can do appraisals, they can do cleanings, they can do repairs, jewelry repairs, watch repairs. Josh Ryder also can do custom design. The man is a remarkable artist. He's part artist, also I think part mad scientist when you go back to his lab workshop there. Great folks, Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings. So check them out today. You can always go to DillonRings.com or again, social media. Search on social media, Facebook or Instagram. But I really encourage you to stop by 119 Brown Springs Road, right off of Atlanta Highway, and be sure to tell Josh and Leslie that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the Afternoon sent you. Hey, let's hit another break.
Let's break.
When we come back, do you want to get into Mr. Ramaswamy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I would.
We'll be right back.
Joey Clark.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Actor Portrayal, based on a real patient experience.
I'm Mike. I'm a husband, proud father of two, work my butt off 6 days a week, some nights too. When my family or my company needs me to make it happen, I make it happen. But a few months ago, I started having trouble making it happen, in the bedroom. I tried some pills online, but they didn't work. Honestly, I thought about throwing in the towel on my sex life, but I'm not that old. I still want to enjoy intimacy with my wife. Like that poet said, I don't want to just go gently into that good night. So I went to Montgomery Men's Health. Got some lab work done, was prescribed some meds, and wow, it made it happen. I can't say enough good about them. They took care of me, followed up, and made adjustments to make it happen even better. I even learned I had low testosterone, which they were also treating me for. And I have never felt better. If I were you and you're like me, I'd give them a call today at 334-440-3663 or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com. If you like most guys, they'll make it happen for you too.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your fall market report on real estate in the River Region. From January through September of 2023, close to 3,600 homes have sold and closed in our area through area realtors. Our average sales price is approximately $250,000, which makes us one of the most affordable areas in the state to buy a house. So far this year, sellers that listed with an area realtor were blessed with a sales price that was 98% of the listed price or possibly above listed price. Because we have had a severe shortage of houses on the market, the buyers have had to look a little longer to find a home that satisfied their needs. Even with higher rates, local mortgage lenders have found ways for buyers to buy down rates on their mortgages and making the transition from tenants to home ownership possible. For all the details, call Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Yes?
Howdy, ma'am. I'm Bill, the electrician.
Oh, hello, Bill. Say, I like your houndstooth hat. Bama fan?
Well, sorta.
Oh, you're also wearing a War Eagle sweatshirt and a Troy jacket.
Yeah, well, I grabbed a hot wire last week. Kinda scrambled my brain.
Electricity is nothing to trifle with. That's why you only want electricians who are safety conscious and code compliant, like the experts at Crosby Electric.
Okay, ma'am, you take this 2x4 and if you notice I ain't saying much, give me a good knock on the head.
What?
All Crosby Electric team members are trained to make safety our #1 priority, to avoid dangerous situations.
All ready to go, ma'am. Just have to connect this wire and... Oh!
Bill, are you okay?
Oh, yeah. Good as new.
Yeah, sure. Who's your favorite team?
pistachio?
Don't take chances with electricity. Call the experts at Crosby Electric or visit us at crosbyelectric.com.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We're seeing some improvement in our forecast today with a sun and cloud mix and a fairly comfortable day temperature-wise. High temperature up to about 71, a little breezy at times. Tonight, slow down to about 57. Tomorrow, look for a mostly cloudy day with a high in the lower 70s. Small risk of an isolated shower by Friday afternoon and Friday night ahead of a cold front. Then on Saturday, we could start off cloudy, but then lots of sunshine with a high temperature up to about 70 on Saturday. Chilly Saturday night, low temperature near 40. We'll be in the upper 60s on Sunday with plenty of sunshine and another big storm system by Monday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon, and it's official, folks. Snoop Dogg gives up smoke. This is from the official Twitter page of Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Snoop Lion? Snoop Lion, you don't remember that, where he went to Jamaica and he became Snoop Lion?
No, I don't remember Snoop Lion. That's pretty awesome, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's lying now, though.
I think so, too,
But
Joey.
this is from, I've got it up on the live stream, folks. Again, Joey Clark live on YouTube. Like and subscribe.
Like and
Joey
subscribe.
Clark live on YouTube. And it's a picture Snoop put out, and it says, after much consideration and conversation with my family, I've decided to give up smoke. Please respect my privacy at this time. Signed, Snoop Dogg.
Just thought about something.
What?
He's got a new line of something coming out, don't he?
Edibles? Yeah, I think that's what's going on.
I'm sorry, but I just put the two and two together.
Have you had the Ric Flair edibles? I haven't.
No, I've seen them. I've seen all that in Vegas. I couldn't believe how many people's names were on that now.
It's a heck of a branding opportunity if you're a big celeb.
Yeah.
Especially like Ric Flair.
Well, it's funny, too, when you look at the prices. The bigger the name, the more expensive the product.
Sure.
Even
Yeah.
though it's the same product side by side.
Now, we go from Snoop Dogg supposedly giving up smoke, which I don't
see that.
I don't buy that at all. To, well, somebody who continues to smoke in the media, Vivek Ramaswamy.
I don't know, Joey. From what I see on the national polls, they don't even know who the guy is.
Really? Oh, the Nikki Haley's the front runner. Right.
I don't even know who this other guy is.
Now, I watched an interview with Vivek last night where he goes, guys, calm down. If I make the top 3 in the first early states, that's great. And nobody's going to win this unless Trump is all this talk about Nikki Haley being the future is ridiculous.
I just don't see it.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it. I think it's a push to get her.
Yes, it is. Yeah. And I think she stepped in it this week.
I
But
think so.
we shall see. Before we go to Vivek Ramaswamy, though, check to see who that is. And let's also tell folks that this part of the program brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And there at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and her team are ready to help you with buying a home. Right now could still be the right time for you to buy. Depends on where you are in life. Don't look at national, international economic headlines. Look at your own balance sheet. Look at your own economy. They're at home, and Alabama Home Mortgage can help steer you through these, say, choppy waters in a weird economy. But if you're a first-time home buyer, they can walk you through that process from pre-approval all the way to closing day. And, of course, they can also get you set up with a great refinance deal. So if you're stuck under a mountain of credit card debt, especially with 29%, 30% APR.
Average.
Yeah, just as the average. Why not, if you have value built up in your home, refinance?
Right.
They can do that for you there at Alabama Home Mortgage. So give Kim and her team a call today, 567-4223. That's 567-4223. You can also visit them on the web and apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. Now let's go to Mr. Ramaswamy. And this is Vivek on with the lovely, I think her name, what is her name? She's a good-looking anchor.
Yeah?
Yeah, at least in my humble opinion. Abby something? I don't know. But this is her bringing up with Vivek that Trump was calling his opponents vermin, and this is right out of the Nazi handbook. So let's listen in.
That language, they live like vermin. Do you believe that that is, as your Republican colleague Chris Christie has said, neo-Nazi rhetoric?
This is a classic mainstream media move. Pick some individual phrase of Donald Trump, focus on literally that word without actually interrogating the substance of what's at issue.
The word was chosen for a reason.
We are in the middle of a cultural war in this country.
The
well,
word
you know
was
what?
chosen for a
It's
reason.
actually describing a series of behaviors. You have Antifa and other related groups that have been burning down cities for the last 3 years in this country.
Would you describe them as
wildly
vermin?
violating the rule of law. We have an invasion on our southern border. We have millions of people crossing our southern border. Let's talk about the substance of why we have to recognize that we're not in ordinary times.
Would you
so
use
the
that language
vocabulary of the
yourself?
vermin or not is not what's important. Well, I haven't used that language. So you
would
can look
you?
at my track record on the campaign trail. I talk about the issues. We all talk about them differently. But what I'm not going to do is play some game of focusing on some word that somebody else said without ignoring entirely the substance of what we're actually talking about. A border crisis of historic proportion. Economic stagnation we haven't seen in 50 years. A national identity crisis and a loss of national pride in the next generation that's potentially existential for this country. Let's talk about our dependence on China. Today we're actually talking about Xi Jinping, picking on Donald Trump's word vermin to talk about that status quo. You know what's vermin? What's running around San Francisco on a given day before Gavin Newsom cleaned it up on a dime to roll out the red carpet for Xi Jinping. If he could do that for Xi Jinping, he could have done it on an ordinary day, and yet we're here sitting talking not about the substance of that, but on one word that Donald Trump said in some speech in Miami. This is what's wrong with the mainstream media. Focus on the substance and let's have an actual policy debate rather than talking to a presidential candidate instead of the policy substance of what's actually going on in the country, picking on some word that Donald Trump said on a certain day and asking me for comment on it. Give me a break.
Give me a break.
All right.
Wow.
Well, I think that's how it's done.
I don't think you should talk to women like that.
Yeah, he's definitely he just doesn't like women, right?
That's what I've heard here lately.
I got a feeling a lot of these women don't like men, though, either.
That's what I've heard here
You know what? I
lately.
can't blame them. Have you seen their fathers?
Right.
Let's go to Tootie. It's almost like it all works together. Hey,
Yep.
Tootie, how you doing?
Hey, Tootie.
How you doing?
I'm all right.
You know, this is time of day I usually can't get to the phone. That's probably why you don't hear from me as often as I'd like to call. But I had you on. I was working in the lab, and I had time to really listen. You had a call, and I'll get back to it. But let me share something with you. You know, what hooked me on talk radio was Hanoi Hannah. Have you ever heard of her?
Yeah.
No, not really.
She was the Tokyo Rose of Vietnam. And I was on the DMZ, keep in mind, not too far, right on the Ho Chi Minh Trail. That's where I was stationed. Khe Sanh, Con Thien, Jilin, the DMZ, Dong Ha. And headquarters battery had access to all kinds of stuff. But, you know, she used to talk about, you know, the people that were making money off the war. And she mentioned one company in particular. I really didn't think about it till I got home because it was in Cincinnati. It was called KDI. And they made all the fuses for the artillery shells and a lot of the bombs. And the guy that started the company, his name was Powell Crosley. Now, anybody in radio, if you should know a little bit about him. He created Crosley Broadcasting, and one of the first people to really own WLW, the big 700 civil defense station at the time. He also left enough money, I believe, to operate the Voice of America in Mason, Ohio, right just north of Cincinnati. But he owned that company, and he patented some of the fuses that they used in artillery. And I was in artillery, so, you know, I had a special interest in it.
Right.
When I got home, though, I was almost in shock that, you know, it was there in Norwood, right next to U.S. Playing Cards and Cincinnati Millicron, which is the big milling machine, they tool and die makers. They made the ball bearings to defeat Hitler in World War II. But, you know, to hear her say that that was an inside job on 911, you know, they say we're paranoid. But, you know, to come home in 1968 and listen to things like Stop Now, What's That Sound? You know, I lived through all that. But I had been there, and most of my friends were still in college or just got out. They hadn't really begun to live. The draft was still going on. And I would try to explain to them what a delayed fuse was. Nowadays, they call it a bunker buster. I had one blow up in my face once. The North Vietnamese had them. They could hit us from Laos. That's how close we were to it. But, you know, we need more calls like her. We should never buy the package. That was the cry. Don't buy the package. Look at it. Examine it.
Well, and my rule on this show,
what you're
right? My rule on this show, Tootie, is that you can, for the most part, within reason, people can share whatever opinion they like. Doesn't mean I'll agree, but I'm not going to chastise somebody for not necessarily buying the whole package. I hate to cut you off, but I'm out of time for this hour.
Thanks, Joy.
Thank you, Tootie.
See you, Tootie.
Jeff Deist should
That's
be
right.
joining
He called us up, right?
Yeah, here after the top of the hour break.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. United Auto Workers Union members voting to approve a new contract with General Motors, which makes the company the first Detroit automaker to get a ratified deal. Ratification was leading at Ford by more than 10,000 votes, with 66.7% of the ballots in favor. At Stellantis, the lead was over 5,700, with 66.5% voting for the deal. A Texas inmate convicted of strangling a 5-year-old girl in El Paso is facing execution. David Renteria, scheduled to receive a lethal injection this evening in Huntsville. Alabama is scheduled to execute a man convicted in the killing of a friend's father during a 1993 robbery. Casey McWhorter will receive a lethal injection at a South Alabama prison. Stocks lower. The Dow is down 170 points. This is SRN News.
In Dinesh D'Souza's new blockbuster movie, Police State exposes the government's plot to control MAGA conservatives.
These are anti-government.
We have freedom of religion and freedom of speech.
Violent extremists, and they must be dealt with.
MAGA Republicans threaten the very foundation of our republic.
Mass surveillance, censorship, and armed attacks. There's nowhere to hide.
FBI, we have an arrest warrant.
15 marked units on my property.
Military-styled soldiers pointing an automatic rifle at my head.
Are we becoming a police state?
It may be the Russia other people grew up in, but not my America.
Directed by Dinesh D'Souza, Debbie D'Souza, and Bruce Shuey. Police State sounds the alarm.
What we need is a person, and then we go find out what crime you did. How did we give the state this kind of power?
Police State. They have their lists. Are you next?
If they're coming for me, they're coming for you.
Police State. Buy it or stream it now at salemnow.com. salemnow.com.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by JB Windows and Siding. Call Jones Brothers. You'll be glad you did.
JB Windows and Siding is what you're looking for. Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We're seeing some improvement in our forecast today with a sun and cloud mix and a fairly comfortable day temperature-wise. High temperature up to about 71, a little breezy at times. Tonight, slow down to about 57. Tomorrow, look for a mostly cloudy day with a high in the lower 70s. Small risk of an isolated shower by Friday afternoon and Friday night ahead of a cold front. Then on Saturday, we could start off cloudy, but then lots of sunshine with a high temperature up to about 70 on Saturday. Chilly Saturday night, low temperature near 40. We'll be in the upper 60s on Sunday with plenty of sunshine and another big storm system by Monday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
1819 News.
Alabama's 2 U.S. senators split their vote regarding the continuing resolution that was sent over from the U.S. House. Senator Katie Britt voted in favor of the continuing resolution. It places the deadline for submitting government budgets into January and February of next year. Until then, government spending levels remain the same. Britt says the CR will avoid an omnibus package being voted on during the holiday season. That's when all the budgets are passed with a single vote. And Britt also said she voted for the CR since it continues critical government services such as paying law enforcement and U.S. military members. Senator Tuberville voted against the continuing resolution with no public comments made about his vote. The measure did pass the U.S. Senate with an 87-11 vote total. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Are you enjoying 1819 News? If so, consider joining 1819 News as a member. As a nonprofit news organization, we depend on the support of Alabamians like you. Memberships start out as little as $5 a month, and you'll get access to exclusive content only offered to our members. You'll be supporting independent journalism done by people who cherish Alabama values. Become a member today by visiting 1819news.com and clicking Become a Member. That's 1819news.com and click Become a Member today.
A Pritchard community is rocked by a recent fatal shooting. A 76-year-old grandmother is being named as the shooting suspect and her 38-year-old grandson, Dana Jordan, as the victim. The grandson was shot multiple times. Police arrested Mary Jordan on Wednesday night. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office is welcoming a new furry officer to the force. Hixie is a canine unit who is trained to find hidden electronics during police searches. These electronic units, like SD cards, are typically hidden if they contain illegal images of children and recorded crimes against children. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office will also utilize Hixie in other parts of the state as needed.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for waterproof carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
The fall sale is on, and there's never been a better time to upgrade your floors. During Prattville Carpet's biggest sale of the year, find deep discounts on Mohawk flooring for every room in your home, plus interest-free financing with approved credit. Get new floors before the holidays with huge discounts. Visit PrattvilleCarpet.com or call 285-8117 today.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
Understanding Medicare Advantage plans isn't easy, but Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama has you covered. Like Jean, she's always doing something for others. But when it came time to find the right Medicare Advantage plan, she wanted some help.
I found the Medicare process a little confusing, but my local Blue Cross advisor answered all my questions and made enrollment easy. Plus, I don't have to change my doctors. That's important to me.
Millions of Alabamians have trusted Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama for generations. We're here to help you get the expanded Medicare benefits you deserve. Call today, and one of our knowledgeable local representatives will work with you to find the right Medicare Advantage plan. Call 1-855-678-6987 now, or visit bcbsalmedicare.com. Medicare that's focused on you. Blue Advantage is a PPO with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Blue Advantage PPO depends on CMS contract renewal.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
This is how you conduct yourself?
in a democracy? Shut up, silly woman.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader still in the studio with me.
I'm here.
You seem to be feeling better than you were earlier. Not great. You're still, like, I'm usually the human Eeyore over here, but you're over there, looks like rain.
Yes, I have been walking around with a black cloud over my head for the last few days.
All right, no, I can relate.
Yeah.
So just turn that frown upside down and just feel happy. I can't stand folks who don't understand that, hey, sometimes it ain't easy to flip a switch.
I wish it was that easy. But I do got a lotto ticket in, so if that hits, just so you know, instantly I'll be have a whole new attitude. If it hits for good money. Now, I have won the multi-million-dollar one time for $1. That was just so mean.
Oh, wow. That's
so
just
mean.
Cruel. Yeah, that's just the Lady Fortune is a strumpet.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Hey, let's go to the phones and talk to Jeff Deist. Great to have him back on the program. Of course, folks, he is the General Counsel at Monetary Metals, formerly the President of the Mises Institute, Chief of Staff for Congressman Ron Paul, and been published in the Washington Times, Fox News, The Hill, Roll Call, Chronicle, Zero Hedge, Intellectual Takeout, and 1819 News. Jeff, how are you this afternoon?
Hey, Joey, I have a question for Eddie.
Yeah, buddy.
If inflation is a tax on poor people, what are lottery tickets a tax on?
Dreams.
Okay, we'll just say dreamers. How's that?
Oh, man. Yeah. You see what I deal with here every day, Jeff. Every day.
It's a brain trust. It's a brain trust, and its heart beats right there off the 85 freeway in Montgomery, Alabama.
So earlier, last hour, we covered, I don't know if you saw the write-up, it was in the Wall Street Journal, where it was like this culture of boozing and strip clubs and sex and all sorts of stuff at the FDIC of all places.
Yeah, indeed.
Were you shocked at all? It sounds like you've seen this. Are you shocked at all that this sort of thing would be going on, be a boys' club within the FDIC?
No, I'm not. I mean, we've seen this before in government alphabet soup agencies and departments. I was glad to see a member of the U.S. House from Alabama actually raising the question about when are all these federal employees going to go back to work in office after COVID? Because I wonder how many Americans realize that a lot of FedGov agency employees are still at home. I mean, and let me tell you something, folks. They are in their jammies. They are not working hard. I guarantee it.
Correct.
I mean, they are drawing significant union-backed, higher administrative salaries, and it's just unbelievable. So, but you got to understand that a place like the FDIC doesn't have any market discipline. It's really just up to the management to enforce a culture, and so I think we should probably expect there's a lot more of this happening. Sort of a party atmosphere, whatever it might be. I mean, the FDIC is, in and of itself, is basically founded on as an agent of moral hazard, right? I mean, the idea that if you deposit money in a bank, most people don't know this, but if you go read your little contract, the fine print with B of A or whatever, PNC or even a local bank like River here in Alabama, you are not a depositor leaving your money with them. You are a lender, lending your money to the bank. It changes title, and you become a creditor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're a creditor. So most people are not aware of that. Banks don't lead with that fact, but it is a fact. That's how deposit banking works in America. And so, we used to think that some banks would be cautious and make good loans and earn a reasonable amount of money for their depositors, and some banks would be reckless and potentially get in trouble and even have to declare bankruptcy or go out of business. And we used to think that there was something called the marketplace to determine who put their money where. But once we created deposit insurance, we patted everybody on the head like children and said, hey, your deposit's safe up to, I believe now the individual limit is $250,000 per deposit. So people no longer have any incentive to look into this at all. And, you get the the Silicon Valley banks of the world as a result. So look, I can't. I've never worked at the FDIC. I can't speak to their culture. All I can say is that when there's no marketplace to provide accountability, which ultimately came even to Silicon Valley Bank in a roundabout way, that it'll never come to the FDIC, and we'll hear some harumphing, and there'll be some inquiries, and maybe even the House will hold some hearings and this and that, and then our attention span will move on to the next thing.
And again, folks, we're talking to Jeff Deist. And one thing, Jeff, you've focused in with laser focus that I really appreciate is whether it's the FDIC or so many of these folks say at the Federal Reserve or within all of our technocratic institutions, they like to put up this veneer of being objective and scientific. We're just the experts following the facts. Thank you very much. But we're continuously seeing a pattern where, Janet Yellen runs the Fed for years, and now she's clearly a stooge for the Biden administration. You see it in these committee hearings. I know this has happened with other members of the Fed who've gone to work for the administration or other administrations. Are we making hay, let's say, with the average American to point out that this is not objective, this is not scientific in terms of the expertise? These folks are climbing the ladder and have an axe to grind like anybody else.
Well, first and foremost, if they were such formidable experts, why have we had in just since 2000, let's say since 2000, in just this century, why have we essentially had 3 crashes? So let's start with that, the track record. But beyond that, Janet Yellen took a little detour in between being Fed chair and going over Treasury, and that detour involved some $250,000 a pop speeches to corporate America. So I wouldn't pay a wooden nickel to hear anything she had to say, but yet somehow people are paying a pretty penny. So the revolving door thing is real, and it generally tracks between the Treasury Department, which is the fiscal manager of the U.S. federal budget, the Federal Reserve itself, which is the monetary manager of the U.S. government's budget, and then what we very broadly call Wall Street, which is a nexus of investment banks, hedge funds, private equity funds, and also commercial banks themselves, the primary dealers, so to speak, with the Fed itself. So there is a revolving door there. And when someone like Janet Yellen comes over to Treasury and makes what is a pretty small salary, I think she might make, I know she makes less than the president, who's $400,000, whatever she makes. But nonetheless, that is not public service, as we might like to think about it. That is part of being an elite in an elite financial class. And her later years will be marked by the kind of salary that Ben Bernanke enjoys today as an advisor to a few different private hedge funds and giving speeches and that sort of thing. So it's dispiriting, of course, but I would say that there's in the internet age there's far more attention paid to that sort of thing than there was maybe 10 or 15 years ago before the Ron Paul days.
Yeah, and I think there are signs of hope at, say, a younger generation of politicians that might not be full-on libertarians. And in fact, in a second, I want to get to the whole Vivek Ramaswamy thing, take your temperature on that again. But real quick, I am seeing a lot of happy talk about, it looks like the soft landing might happen as we try to cool down inflation. And look at that big GDP number of 4.9% in the last quarter. And I mean, in your mind, when you look under the hood of all these numbers that are in headlines, is the economy doing well? Are we going to hit a soft landing?
Well, no, it's not doing well. And let's start with the fact that GDP is juiced by government spending, which is going to, for this 2023-24 fiscal year, which just started on November 1st, there's going to be about a $3 trillion deficit. That's double what had been projected. So the Biden administration will spend at a minimum $7 trillion. They'll probably bring in about $4 trillion. So that's for starters. So one way to boost your GDP is to borrow money and spend it, right? That's like if Joey gets a new credit card, he can go out and boost his GDP by buying a flat screen TV or whatever you might want to buy, and that would give the appearance of a greater degree of wealth in Joey's household, but you got to pay the credit card bill. So that's one thing. The other thing is that inflation itself, the fact that there's been so much on the fiscal side, money printing since COVID, that alone, when prices go up, that gives the appearance of boosting GDP. In other words, a car that used to be 40 grand is now 50. You're getting roughly the same car, but GDP reflects 10 grand more. So we should account for that. But more importantly, I think the real measure of how average folks are doing, which to me is the measure of an economy, not how government statistics are compiled or whether Tesla stock is going up or something like that. I would say it's how average people can live, and I would measure that by the difference between what real inflation is, which I would argue is a fair bit higher than they admit. Yes, it is coming down because some of this price increase business was caused by supply chain disruptions during COVID, which take a long time to correct, but they are slowly correcting. So I would say inflation is coming down, but that doesn't mean prices are coming down. It means prices are going up slower. Okay? Right. Can we start with that? That's a very important point, folks. It just means prices are going up not quite as quick as they were. So that's very important. And the other thing is that, savings rates are still below inflation, in my opinion. Now, there are some people who would argue with me over statistics, but when we get to the core consumer items, which are generally rent or your mortgage, your gasoline, your groceries, and absolutely fundamental things like healthcare expenses, right? The things that all of us have to pay, rich or poor, those things have not come down. And, when you can go out there and maybe save money at anywhere from 3 to 5%, depending on on how long you want to lock your money up, or whether it's in a local institution or a money market fund or something like that. But let's say you can, depending on your risk tolerance, you can get about 3 to 5%. I would argue inflation is higher than that. I would argue that wage growth is lower than that in real terms, and so I would very strongly argue that the nervousness, the anxiety that the average person is feeling over a trip to Costco to see what price, what steaks cost, is not in their imagination. It's real, and if these politicians want to ignore it, if they want to give us happy clappy narratives, they might pay a price at the ballot box.
Again, folks, we're talking to Jeff Deist, and as I mentioned earlier, we've been covering with much glee and sometimes anger this back and forth between, say, Vivek Ramaswamy and the Republican establishment, and especially I'm thinking of, say, Nikki Haley. And I just got to tell you, Jeff, the more I listen to Vivek on not just debate stages but long-form conversations, he comes across as a guy steeped in a lot of same books I've read, a lot of the libertarian literature, or sometimes when I hear him ask about climate change, I'm like, oh, that's Alex Epstein's book and framing of the discussion. And it just keeps happening on many topics. I wouldn't say he would be a great libertarian nominee, but I think he would be a great way for the Republican Party to go. And, let's not kid ourselves. It's going to be Trump, as far as I can see at the end of the day right now. He's probably going to get elected from prison. But I find it valuable watching Vivek taking on the rest of the Republicans within this not Trump contest. And I think it really reveals a divide that the GOP establishment, just like the old Bush's Cheney wing, does not want to go away quietly. So I say all that just to take your temperature on when you're seeing Vivek Ramaswamy and all this back and forth on debate and on social media. What do you see of this guy now?
Yeah, I like his rhetoric. I'm not sure that I trust him. I'm not thrilled with the way he became wealthy, which was to basically create a very small pharmaceutical company which employed his mother and just a handful of other people that was developing a drug that was going to help seniors. I don't recall if it was a statin or an Alzheimer's drug or a cancer drug offhand. And so he was sort of the darling of the go times when it was easy to raise investment capital. And so a bunch of people poured in money into his company. That got the valuation up to several $1 billion. And then he sold all of his stock in the parent, making himself personally a billionaire. The trials on the drug didn't work. The FDA didn't approve. and all those billions of dollars of valuation in the pharmaceutical company he founded went poof. So he cashed out before it went poof. I don't love that. I consider that a form of cronyism, because I think a lot of that valuation was based on the idea that the FDA was going to approve this drug. Okay, you could argue he played the game as it is. I'm sure he's very smart. I know he made a lot of money even before that in investing on his own, and he was, I think, a millionaire at age 18 just by his investing acumen. He's, obviously a very bright guy, and I like a lot of what he has to say. I would argue it was a little braver when Ron was saying it 10, 15 years ago.
Yes.
Ron Paul. But nonetheless, we need him in there. We need him in there keeping these people honest. I mean, we need a counterweight to this absolute nightmare called Nikki Haley. And so, God bless him, more power to him. And I just, let 1,000 flowers bloom. Let's have RFK Jr. Let's have Vivek. Let's have Cornel West. Let's have Michael Rechtenwald. Let's have whoever we want. Because Trump versus Biden, I already feel exhausted by that. I already feel tired. And it's a year away.
Wait, but real quick, you think, why is Nikki Haley a nightmare? She seems so lovely. Wait, you got a problem with women?
Well, and you notice she's already played the woman card, which is just absolutely disgusting. She is not someone who has suffered oppression by being a woman. Undoubtedly being a woman has enhanced her political career. In other words, she would be a very bland, milquetoast white guy saying all the same things she says. So let's not kid ourselves. But there's something about the body politic in America that wants female candidates at the national level to be particularly hawkish and bloodthirsty. We demanded this of Hillary Clinton. Nikki Haley seems to think we're demanding this of her. In other words, this idea that females have to prove their toughness by being basically interventionist and pro-war. There are female politicians like Golda Meir and Margaret Thatcher who prove their toughness through resolute determination rather than this bomb the world mindset.
No, and I mean, just a little bit I know about Thatcher. What a woman. But I was making the same point yesterday, and I was kind of going through. It's not just Nikki Haley or Hillary Clinton. You think of, Condoleezza Rice comes up. Well, she's pretty much a neoconservative. Think about some of the Madeleine Albright right under the Clinton years. I'm trying to find a high-profile woman in American politics that isn't a hawk. I don't think they're out there.
Well, we thought it was going to be Tulsi, and then she disappointed us much like RFK.
Yeah, well, in particular, I'm not hearing anybody who's looking out for America first, really fully, when it comes to the Israel-Palestine and Gaza fight right now. Vivek kind of gets close to there, but I'm not hearing anybody high-profile give that, hey, it's none of our fight.
Well, I wish the term America First had not been effectively sort of co-opted by this new right or Trumpian right or something. There's actually quite a history there for people who aren't familiar with the term old right. There's a really fascinating history of the American right in the first half of the 20th century, really before William F. Buckley forever changed it into this into a movement and a party with the Republicans whose main raison d'etre was to fight the Soviets. And so that put us on this permanent war footing where we had this existential threat called Soviet communism. And it had to be defeated at every turn, no matter what the price in our domestic policy or no matter how much it cost. And so when the former USSR went belly up, we had to find new demons. We had to, create the idea of war on terror. We had to find something new, a new raison d'etre for the right. But there used to be an old right that you can read about, really prior to 1950, even prior to 1960, that was America First in the true sense of the word, not the belligerent sense of the word. There was the kind of nation that we could aspire to and be proud of. And if there's anyone who personifies it today, I would say it's Colonel Douglas McGregor. I would say he's today the living avatar, with Pat Buchanan sort of older and out of commission. So it really is a shame that we don't have a decent right in this country. I would very much like to have one because, Joey, I'm not a fan of the left.
Right, but the establishment GOP is just, if you had to recommend some writers, I'm pretty well steeped in the more libertarian types like H.L. Mencken or even Knock or Flynn, Garrett Garrett. I've read a few of those guys. Chodorov, I think, also comes to mind. But I have to admit, I think I'm light on the more true conservatives of that era. If there's maybe there's a book that's a collection, anything you could recommend to me and others?
Yes, there's a short, easy read. If you don't like the left but you don't see yourself in the Nikki Haley's and the Lindsey Grahams and these other people that supposedly represent the right today, there's a book called The Betrayal of the American Right by a historian and economist named Murray Rothbard. And it'll really explain to you what the old right was, why it has I believe, a very proud and worthy history, and how it came to be corrupted. It'll really help you understand the world today.
Well, I appreciate the time as always, Jeff. And if folks want to follow what you're up to, thinking about, writing about, how can they do so?
They can follow me on Twitter at Jeff Deist, JEFFDEIST, all one word.
Well, thank you, sir, and talk again soon.
Eddie, I hope you win, buddy.
Thank you, Jeff. See you, bro.
Tax on dreams,
Come on, it costs you $1 to dream. I'll pay $1. Well, actually, it's $2.
You might want to go for a more costly dream.
No, the dream is very expensive in my head. It's just
dreams ain't found at the
ticket.
Walmart bargain bin, son.
No, that's why I go to the Circle K to get my lottery tickets.
No, it is fun sometimes, though, to be like, you want to watch this crap movie in the bargain bin or this crap movie in the bargain bin? Do you want us to watch Dana Carvey's Master of Disguise?
Oh, God, that was awful, Joey.
I know, and I love Dana Carvey.
Me too.
I think
That's
he's
what
still
was so
freaking brilliant.
disappointing.
But the movie was awful. Even as a kid, I'm like, what the heck is this?
He needed a car payment or something to make. I mean, he needed some money because that was an awful, awful movie. Or you could always do the rom-coms. And now, this time of year, those romantic comedies are coming up, buddy, on the Lifetime
Don't kid
show.
yourself. I know you're a fan of that movie, Serendipity.
I remember watching
Kate Beckinsale, so lovely. John Cusack, just that. He's that everyman who just can't get it together. But he's also strikingly handsome.
Yeah, Cusack's always been. I mean, he's always played.
Actually,
the
what's the
down
one in
guy,
the
but
record?
he's
High
cute.
Fidelity?
High
That is
Fidelity's
actually
great.
a really good movie, yeah.
What was the one? There was one back in the 80s, one of those, where he was a skier and he was trying to get the girl across the street. Oh, I can't think of it.
Is it the one where he holds the boombox?
Better
in?
Off Dead.
Oh, no, Better Off Dead.
Great movie.
Yeah.
80s rom-com hysterical movie. Right up there with 16 Candles, that whole genre. Good stuff, Joey.
You're a John Hughes guy, then.
Big time.
Yeah, he did some good
He
flicks.
really did. He did some awful things, too, but he did some good rom-com movies.
Hey, let's be men. You ready for the Iron Bowl?
Of course I am.
How's your fantasy team doing this year?
Well, I'm being a man. My fantasy team sucks.
Hey, how's your testosterone these days?
It's pretty good, actually, Joey. Gotta be honest. I haven't
Oh,
broke no
really?
machines lately, but yeah, the last test, they said, hey.
No,
good together
we've
stuff.
often talked about you went into Montgomery Men's Health, and they said, no, you're cooking. Your testosterone's fine. We think it's slow metabolism, something like
and
that.
I literally swore up and down I had testosterone issues. I
Right.
had every single substance or every single idea they came up with. I had no energy. After 12 o'clock, I was dead for the day. You know, mood swings were god-awful. Sleep, god-awful. But when they diagnosed and said, hey, you just got a little bit of metabolism issue, I get an injection once a week. It fixed 99% of that.
Wow.
Yep. And it was funny because I went and seen him. I think I got the first injection on a Wednesday, went back on a Monday just kind of for a follow-up, and I said, I don't want to sound funny, but I feel like it's already working. And the girl giggled. She said, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
So whether your problem is low T or not, maybe it's something else entirely different. Montgomery Men's Health can help you. So call them today, 440-3663. Excuse me, that's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com. And be sure to tell those fine folks there at Montgomery Men's Health that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the afternoon sent you. We got to hit a quick break. We'll come back to these calls at 272-9228.
He may not know whether he's coming or going. But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hello, everyone. Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better Business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
I am close to finding my second love of my life.
ABC Thursday on The Golden Bachelor.
Proposal could be at the other end of this. If he asked me to marry him, I would say yes.
2 women remain.
He told me he loves me, but I don't know what he said to her.
But one night could change everything.
Someone is going to come out hurt beyond what I can imagine. I took a good person and broke their heart.
The Golden Bachelor.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Papa B.
Hey, Papa B.
Papa B. Papa B. Hey. Well, I told you the other day that I had gone down to Montgomery Men's Health.
Right.
Yeah.
And, it's just no time flat. My meds came in here, and
yep.
Because my, it's just all of these medications that I'm having to take just got me operating on low octane,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to get my first shot of octane here.
All right.
So, you want a man, you want a real man, you got to try Mr. T.
Well, you fix to be cooking with gas.
So anyway, and before you Google this, Joey, just let me ask you, and Eddie, have y'all heard anything about this guy, Jonathan Lewis, in the news this morning?
No. Off the top of my head,
I have not.
Okay. Jonathan Lewis was a young man, I believe out in San Francisco, somewhere in California, maybe L.A. He was attacked and killed by a group of, he's a white guy. He was attacked, beaten, and to death by a group of black kids, young black kids.
I saw these videos on Twitter. Yep. You're ringing a bell now, yeah.
Okay. So, I got 2 questions. The first question is, what is it that made these youths, these kids, decide that they could attack and kill this white kid? Okay, I believe, and I'm going to forward the notion that they've been indoctrinated into this lie that says, it's all right to kill white folks. If you're black, you've been oppressed or whatever. whatever reason you might come up with. I don't know for sure, but I would imagine it goes something like that. The second thing I would think about is why have we not heard this anywhere in the news? Because you know good and well, had it been a bunch of white kids that attacked and killed a black kid, you would have no relief from it for the next year. Am I right about that?
Yes, you're right about that.
No doubt.
I think why do these kids feel this way is a little more subtle. Well, you were onto it. But I think there is a common thing in human history, what people who feel or who have had wrong done to them, suffered injustice, or they feel as though they've suffered an injustice, often that gives them an excuse to their conscience to do injustices to other people. I think it's sort of a slow.
That because they feel.
Right.
It's not something that actually has happened. It's that they feel, and they feel that way because they've been taught that way from their mama's knee.
Right.
They've been taught that way. So let's not kid ourselves. Nothing that bad has happened to anybody that they to themselves. Probably nobody they even know. But yet, they feel. And we've just got to come to terms with this country that we cannot have this. We've got to somehow get this thing. In Barney Fife terms, nip it in the bud.
Well, I don't mean to sound like an old man, Papa B, but we need to return just to some basic standards. Standards that we've gotten away from, laws we don't enforce. If that's the case, let's take these laws off the books. Let's have those discussions. But also, let's hold folks accountable. Holding someone accountable for their action doesn't mean just writing them a ticket and hoping they show up for court. There is a process. When you commit that kind of crime or any kind of crime, there is a process. And again, maybe it's lack of police force for whatever reason, but these things are not getting taken seriously. So every time someone doesn't face the consequences, 10 more people say, hey, that's okay.
And and I also think that it's the dual, the unbalanced, coverage that we see in the media.
Oh, definitely. That's
Well, and one thing I constantly cite, because I think it's just a fantastic point, I don't know if you're familiar with a guy named John McWhorter. He's a linguist at NYU, does a show with Glenn Lowry, and they often do shows together on Glenn's show. And it's fantastic. And John McWhorter's more your middle of the road, very even effete, educated liberal. He's very much a Democrat, has always voted Democrat. But he has become somewhat of a dissenting voice within the black community on all sorts of fronts. But one point he made is, number one, with the whole George Floyd thing, McWhorter would point to another guy named Tony Timpa, who in a very similar way was pinned to the ground and died he suffocated, he died. And you don't see a bunch of headlines about that. And then McWhorter would break down the crime stats, that it isn't that many people who have violent interactions with the police. And it's even fewer who actually die at the hands of the police. And it's even fewer that you could even argue were unjustifiable. You're talking about a handful. But here's the deal. If you have just a handful, say it's 30, you could have videos popping up that are played all the time on social media. Yeah. And that's what McWhorter pointed to. He said it should have been, his claim, and I think it's a good one, is that Barack Obama had been elected in the 90s, say at the time Clinton was elected, you would not have seen the same problems that occurred halfway through Obama's presidency, because at the same time Obama rises up, social media gets going. Right. To where especially young black kids can be sharing on social media every day a different clip of somebody getting shot by police. Out of context, sometimes it is awful, and the police should be held accountable. And I think that drives a lot of what we're seeing right now.
I say that, when Donald Trump, I used to kind of like look at this like, what is he talking about? When Donald Trump says that the mainstream media is the enemy of the people, this is why right here, because they have an agenda to, promote crisis and division on one hand, and not say anything about it on another. This is why I think that particular point that Trump made is relevant. you gotta, either you're going to report both or you're not going to report at all, or you're going to get some, stop having an agenda about it altogether. But anyway, that's kind of my thoughts of it for the day. And poor guy, and nobody knows. You didn't even see it in the news. So anyway.
Yeah, and
guys,
often,
thanks a lot.
and I appreciate Bobby, and often I've found too that like with local stories, once they go national, you're not getting what I think the local folks
That's a
know.
very good point. I see a national story and I'm thinking, wow, it's just so exaggerated over the top. But I've seen how they've taken our local stories.
Yeah,
and
it's not necessarily inaccurate,
no,
but it's not.
It's just exaggerated.
It's like a thumbnail, low pixel photo snapshot of what happened.
Yep.
And whereas if you live in the area, you might know a lot more details.
True.
Let's go to, actually, this part of the program first brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And there at the Goodson Group, Bo and his team are ready to help you in the River Region real estate market. Whether you're looking to buy or sell, they've been helping buyers and sellers in the Montgomery and surrounding areas for over 40 years, 4+ decades of experience. Not only can the Goodson Group help you with buying or selling your property, they have management services available should you want to rent out your home. It's a great idea for a very reasonable fee. Unless you have experience being a landlord or you're ready to learn, hire the Goodson Group to manage that rental for you. And then that 40+ years of experience really comes into play at the Bo Goodson Real Estate School. It's one of the most highly acclaimed real estate programs here in the state because of, all the success. There are a lot of folks that have graduated from Bo School. He's been doing it for years now. Meets every Thursday night, again, for a reasonable fee. And there have been folks that are just more knowledgeable private players, and they've flipped homes, they've managed different things, or it could be people become fully licensed realtors. The Bo Goodson Real Estate School can prepare you for all that. So check out the Goodson Group today. You can always go to thegoodsongroup.com or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. Great sponsor here of News and Views in the afternoon. Let's go to Randy. Hey, Randy.
What's up, Randy?
What's up, gentlemen? Guy Mosley, Eddie Bader, and Joey Clark.
How you doing this afternoon, Randy?
Man, I'm out here. I was going to get in this inflatable pontoon boat. You probably know what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
Fishing one-seater.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little wind, a little rough out there. I may wind up over there on the other side of Blackwell Sticking Camp.
Yeah, you end up like a sail, man. You get out in the middle of that lake and that wind kicks in, you're gone.
It's pretty windy out here. You probably already know that.
I saw it when I left.
Yeah, but it's getting warm. It's probably, it's good weather out here. I'm
nice.
out here sitting out here on the deck doing nothing. But Joey.
Yeah.
My friend Joey. I was going to call back yesterday, but I didn't. When you made that unorthodox comment about Auburn upsetting and beating Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Joey, if Auburn beats Alabama, Moses is going to ride through your studio on a tricycle.
I guess we better leave the door open then, Joey.
Yeah. Well, I need a refresher on the commandments, too.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, Joey. I don't want you to get your hopes up too much because I think they'll beat them by 17 points.
Well, let me ask you, Randy.
Alabama, that is.
Let me ask you. If Auburn does win, even if it's by only 1 point, are you going to be okay? Most Alabama fans get really upset when Auburn beats them every 10 years.
That's a fantastic point.
Listen, I am an Auburn fan as long as they're not playing Alabama. I'm not one of them haters.
Okay. But
so, I won't be happy, but it is what it is.
Gotcha.
If that makes any sense.
Oh, yes. I'm like you when it comes to Bama. When Bama's playing, I like to watch them, and I hate to admit it, but Nick Saban has won me over. But when Auburn and Alabama playing, me and my wife usually have to be in different rooms. She's an Alabama fan, and she doesn't like it when I get happy, and she doesn't like to see me when I'm cussing either.
And most time you're out there on the deck drinking Busch Light anyway.
That's right.
It really don't matter.
That's right.
Sometimes, Randy, there are moments during the show where I want to clip just the audio in a very selective way. And Eddie just gave me one of those. She doesn't like it when I get happy.
See, that's a good one there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like it when I get happy. happy.
Happy, joy, indeed. I appreciate it, Randy.
Wait a minute, one more thing.
Okay.
Before
What you got?
Cut me off. I want to bet you a Crystal Burger that Alabama beats Auburn.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. With cheese.
A Crystal Burger.
A Crystal.
I'll bring it to the studio.
With cheese.
All right.
With cheese. All right. Have a good one. I'm gone.
Thanks, Randy.
See you, Randy.
Well, I got to remember to get Crystal the next week.
No, you
think Alabama's going to lose?
Yeah, I'm going with that. Why not?
All right. Yeah, no, I'm going to be there to see history.
Right. I mean, what's the worst that happen? We're going to lose? So what? Kind of used to that.
Mm-hmm. See, I saw the eagle flying above the stadium, but for the first time, after many times I've seen the eagle fly and swirl there in Jordan-Hare, the eagle had a serpent in its talons, and it boded well that victory is on the horizon.
Yes.
Or maybe just want to win the bet.
No.
You like the first thing I said?
Yes.
Okay.
Powerful.
We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
You asked, we listened. Rocky Bottom Materials is now offering full-service landscaping and irrigation installation. Do you need landscape renovations or new landscaping for your property? Tired of dragging water hoses all summer to water your lawn? We can help. Let us create your dream landscape and install an automatic sprinkler system. We can solve any drainage issue in your yard. No more dealing with the mud all winter. Call us at 334-215-3704. Schedule an appointment with our professionals. Rocky Bottom, where beauty and functionality are just a call away.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Ernest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Ernest, 334-279-7431. Ernest Financial, LLC.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. I think we're going to be mostly cloudy but dry tonight and a little cool, but not too bad. Overnight low temperature down to about 54. Friday's high, I've got us around 71, and we'll call it mostly cloudy. I think the rain chances are very small. An isolated shower can't be ruled out, though. Then, behind the cool front late Friday night, look for a brighter weekend with mostly sunny skies Saturday and Sunday. Saturday's high 69, Sunday up to about 66, and maybe some more rain on Monday as Thanksgiving week begins. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
It's fall, y'all, at Mama's Produce, and boy, do we have what you need. We have mums of every color. Corn stalks will be in soon, pumpkins. We have fall flowers and fall vegetables. And don't forget to check out our Facebook page, Mama's Produce. We post what we have as soon as it comes in so that you're right there. Check out our gift ideas as well.
Y'all come on down to Mama's, right next to Prattville Farm Center, 1154 South Memorial Drive. Everybody loves Mama's.
Do you have a cell phone or tablet that isn't charging, dying fast, or maybe the screen is damaged? Don't get suckered into buying a new one. XI Repair can fix your current device same day and in under 30 minutes. Their certified technicians fix and recover data from thousands of cell phones, computers, tablets, game consoles, and drones 7 days a week. Give them a call today at 334-777-1234 or visit them online at xirepair.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon. This part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings. And since I last talked about them earlier in the show, Josh Ryder sent me, it's a brand new post there at Dillon Rings on Instagram. This is a beautiful emerald and diamond bracelet. Wow. Regular price $7,205, but on sale now for $3,600. literally cut in half, folks. $3,600. Now, this thing, go to the Instagram page, check it out. It is a truly remarkable piece of jewelry. Look at that, Eddie.
Oh, wow.
That is an amazing, it's now half price.
That's a beautiful piece of jewelry.
Because they've extended the ladies' night sale all the way to Black Friday there at Dillon Ring. So you got to get by the store there, 119 Brown Springs Road. And, of course, you can always call them at 215-3669. But if you want to check out the inventory, you can always go to Instagram or the Book of Faces. And, of course, there at Dillon Rings, they also do cleanings.
Yep.
They're a full-service jewelry shop. So cleanings, repairs. Resizing. Maybe you want to reset something. Maybe you want to update something. Maybe you want a custom-designed piece of jewelry.
Yeah, they can really do that really well, Joey.
They do it all there at Dillon Rings. So check them out today. Again, you can always go to DillonRings.com, but I really do encourage you to go to 119 Brown Springs Road, right off of Atlanta Highway, and be sure to tell Josh and Leslie Ryder there that Joey and Eddie sent you. Don't forget about these amazing sales, folks. You're talking about high-end pieces at like half price, at 60% off. Yeah. Really incredible stuff there at Dillon Rings right now. So let's go to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet real quick. Hey, Ray.
Man, don't go downtown Prattville. They got it closed down for a gas leak.
Oh.
Oh, no.
You running around down there, Ray?
Well, Uncle Ham, I'm trying to sell his little Volkswagen. Why he bought it, I don't know. 80 years old. Bought a car that's like 19 years old, a little convertible. Thought I didn't like it. I said, no, let me sell it because I don't want people knocking on your door.
Right.
Then he calls telling me trying to explain to me how to sign a title like I've never done one.
Don't mess that up, boy.
And he signed in the wrong. And then he signed in the wrong place.
Of course. Yep.
Now, what makes this even better is when I say this name, there's going to be a lot of people in the state that knows him. Hamp Bowl.
Oh.
Who was with Boston Bingham for 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the highest end attorneys in the state. And when he fools with me and Ron, he knows how we are, so he's really, really particular.
Lessons learned.
Lessons learned. So I was running down there to see what we had to do to get this thing fixed, and no, he'll have to wait till tomorrow.
Yep.
They got all the downtown shut down.
There you go.
But the number's
But,
still...
you know, it's not shut down.
What's that, Ray?
Yeah, Prattville Carpet.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
we're not shut down. We're running full steam today, going 100 miles an hour. So if you need a floor of any type, hardwood, laminate, tile, whatever it may be, call us, 285-8117. We still have these incredible sales going on. So right now is the time to give us a call.
Again, that number for Prattville Carpet, 285-8117. And when you call 285-8117, be sure to tell them you heard Ray Bowles here on the radio with Joey and Eddie. Bonus points if you say Balch and Bingham.
Balch and Bingham.
Yeah. Well, he's retired now. He's working with Nick.
Appreciate you, Ray.
Take care, Ray.
Thanks, guys.
See you, bro.
Bye.
Let's go to Duke. Hey, Duke.
Hey, Duke. What's up, buddy?
I know we got time running out here. Papa B been complaining the last few days about this little story that slipped by, about these color boys beating up on some white dude, Just like the story we missed about the family, putting the son in the freezer, the white family, put the son in the freezer a couple weeks ago in that state of Alabama. Didn't it happen in Alabama somewhere?
I honestly don't know. It might have.
Yeah, it wasn't in the media. I didn't see it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, see. Papa B, the brother needed to break their head once in a while, man, They probably should have played crazy or something like that. Probably let the police take him by McDonald's for a little while, something like that, my kid, Let's do something different sometimes, How about that, Eddie?
It'd be different, but I don't.
So instead of shooting them on the spot like they normally do, shoot brother man on the spot most of the time.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry we missed that spot. Papa B, I'm so sorry we missed that one. Maybe next time.
You don't think he had a valid point, Duke?
No, he did not, because at least they didn't think that the dog was on him.
Wait, the media doesn't use instances of, say, black men or women being abused by police as inciting events to push a particular narrative. That isn't bared out by the statistics and the facts of most people's everyday experience, no matter their race.
Back to my point, I always been making when they stop calling every white guy that committed a crime crazy as hell or whatever, my opinion was changed. But I hadn't seen it in a few years.
All right. I think you're wrong on this one, but thanks, Duke.
See you, brother man.
And Biloxi Gambler in the last minute. How
What's
you
up, Biloxi Gambler?
Yeah, Hugh Freeze had never lost to Nick Saban. It's one reason why not to bet on the game.
Okay.
I don't know that there's ever been a 17-point spread between Alabama and Auburn. I think there's like one game there was. So that ain't going to happen.
Right.
Weird things happen in Jordan-Hare.
Yep.
To start with, and if it would be the whole country's rooting for Alabama to lose, because if they lose, then they'll have 2 losses.
Yep.
But see, if they beat Auburn and Georgia, then Georgia and Alabama will both have 1 loss. Which one of those go to the Final Four? Because you got Michigan, Oregon going to play. Michigan, Ohio State going to play. Washington, Oregon's going to play. Are they going to let in? They might let Georgia in with 1 loss.
Right.
But if you've got Georgia and Alabama with 1 loss, then they're going to have to make a Solomon's decision. So they want Alabama to lose, so Alabama will have 2 losses, and then Georgia will go. And, of course, they'll win the national championship when they do. So. But anyway, that's why everybody Alabama needs to do the right thing, just lose the game, so they'll have 2 losses. And,
do the world a favor.
It won't even be their choice anyway, I don't think. But I wouldn't put a dime on that. I wouldn't put your dime on that.
Oh, that bad.
Well, appreciate
Is that
it.
Bad? No, it's a good game to watch, though.
You bet.
Talk to y'all later.
See you, man.
Oh, and I'm getting to go this year.
That's
should be a lot of fun.
Joey. Take some photos.
No, it's been a few years since I've been doing Iron Ball, so this should be, and we got good seats too.
You're not going to the student section this time?
No, thank God. No, we've got like the food service area.
Nice.
It's not like a box, but yeah.
Nice.
Pretty awesome, actually. It's going to be fun.
Cool.
Well, we learned a lot today.
Yeah, we did.
We don't have time to repeat it, though. Y'all stay tuned. Happy Hour with Greg Budell. He's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana News Talk